Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this third edition of MEDTalks webinar. It's a pleasure to see so many of you connected this morning to share experiences around Interreg Euro-MED and its 4 missions, together with our partners and colleagues from the region. Before starting, a few practical points about how we will use the chat today. Please use the chat mainly for short comments, technical issues, and quick reactions, and keep your questions for the speakers clear and concise, and to help the moderators indicate the name of the speakers you are addressing. The Q&A will be organized at the end of the plenary presentations and again after the breakout sessions. So feel free to post your questions in the chat as they come to mind. The team will collect and cluster them. With this, let us move to the first part of our agenda. So I am pleased to give the floor to our colleague from Interreg Euro-MED Joint Secretariat. It's Mr. Curzio Cervelli. Curzio, if you're ready.
Yes, thank you, Cleo. Welcome, thank you for joining us. Since many of the other speakers will speak in English, I switch in French. So I invite you to use the translation button at the button at the bottom of the screen in order to follow my short introduction, please. Thank you. Oh, bonjour, bonjour à vous tous. Merci de nous rejoindre. C'est la troisième édition des MEDTalks et avec les collègues, notamment de l'Union pour la Méditerranée, nous sommes vraiment heureux de vous accueillir ces jours-ci. C'est un moment aussi de réflexion pour nous, une fois par an, et peut-être un peu plus, mais c'est sûr que c'est l'opportunité, en tout cas, de partager des informations avec l'ensemble des partenaires et bénéficiaires dans la Méditerranée, sachant que d'une année sur l'autre, nous élargissons aussi la capacité qui est la nôtre de toucher de nouveaux partenaires compte tenu des nouveaux bénéficiaires, mais aussi de nos partenariats. Cette fois-ci, par exemple, nous aurons avec nous aussi un représentant du NetMap, en plus d'Interreg NextMed, et sachant que, évidemment, l'Union pour la Méditerranée et Euromed sont là depuis la première édition. Donc, c'est aussi un message que nous voulons vous transmettre, que les choses avancent en termes de synergie, de réseautage, de capitalisation. Et c'est important que nous tous en ayons conscience, parce que ce travail ne pourra se faire que par la contribution de tous les acteurs que nous sommes, qui interviennent en Méditerranée. D'autant plus qu'actuellement, nous venons tout juste de clôturer la programmation 14-20, que déjà on est en train de démarrer les négociations pour la prochaine programmation 28-34.
El 5-6.
Donc, ce que je veux souligner, c'est l'importance d'avoir bien en tête le contexte qui est le nôtre, dans lequel nous travaillons. Nous sommes toujours à cheval entre plusieurs programmations. 21-27 commence à nous donner des résultats concrets en provenance des projets qui ont démarré il y a 2-3 ans, grosso modo. Et à ces sujets, nous allons, en tant qu'Interreg Euro-MED, nous allons organiser une grosse conférence de mi-parcours en novembre 2026 à Marseille, qui souhaitera réunir l'ensemble de nos partenaires de nos projets pour afficher le niveau concret de nos activités et favoriser surtout le transfert des résultats. Et en ce sens, évidemment, nous allons inviter aussi nos partenaires habituels en Méditerranée. Donc, il y a un premier aspect important en ce qui nous concerne, c'est celui de la capitalisation, du transfert des résultats, des synergies, du réseau. À ces propos, il n'y a pas qu'Interreg Euro-MED, bien entendu. il y a aussi le travail que nous menons tous ensemble, tous les programmes Interreg, avec d'autres institutions en Méditerranée, d'autres acteurs en Méditerranée, avec la Commission européenne. Et c'est pour ça donc que je souligne aussi l'importance de ces partenariats, notamment avec l'Union pour la Méditerranée, mais aussi avec UNEP-MAP. Et pour nous, c'est important d'avoir notamment la possibilité de regarder à la rive sud de la Méditerranée avec nos collègues d'Interreg NextMed. Puisque vous le savez, Euromed n'a pas la capacité de financer des projets directement dans les territoires de la rive sud en Méditerranée. Donc, il s'agit vraiment de comprendre que pour nous, nous tous, l'essentiel, c'est de travailler pour la Méditerranée tout entière, de favoriser, de créer un contexte qui nous permette de transférer les résultats qui sont d'intérêt pour nous tous, à l'est, à l'ouest, au nord, au sud, sans avoir à craindre les barrières administratives qui nous sont imposées par les règlements. Donc ça, c'est un premier aspect, c'est celui de la programmation 2021-2027, qui désormais arrive à sa maturité. L'autre aspect qui est tout aussi important pour vous tous et pour nous, bien entendu, c'est celui des négociations qui vont s'ouvrir prochainement à propos de la programmation 28-34. Sous cette programmation, bien entendu, tout est à faire parce que les règlements, comme vous le savez, ont été publiés, les draft regulations ont été publiés seulement en juillet dernier. Mais à partir de l'année prochaine, donc dans quelques jours, la plupart des programmes Interreg, dont Euromed, nous commencerons à nous activer avec la création des task forces qui seront dédiées aux premiers échanges avec les États partenaires de chaque programme pour comprendre déjà ce que la Commission européenne nous propose dans les nouveaux règlements pour anticiper autant que possible les nouvelles thématiques, sachant que sous la programmation 21-27, le focus était sur les changements climatiques et que désormais, dans les nouvelles propositions de la Commission européenne, ce ne sera plus ça, du moins en termes d'obligation. Donc, ça restera un choix de chaque programme. Il y aura beaucoup plus de flexibilité dans les choix des thèmes à cofinancer par chaque programme. Donc, et dans ce contexte, ce que je vais souligner et ce qui est important aujourd'hui, c'est que notre intention, évidemment, de profiter des MEDTalks, mais aussi d'autres canaux via les projets de gouvernance qui appartiennent, qui sont cofinancés par le programme Euromed, mais aussi par d'autres dispositifs des autres programmes et des autres acteurs, c'est de vous consulter, de rentrer en contact avec vous tous autant que possible pour faire remonter vos attentes et vos objectifs et vérifier si nous serons en capacité de les intégrer dans nos premières propositions auprès de nos États et des task forces. Donc voilà, il y a vraiment, et c'est un peu la conclusion de mon intervention, il y a tout un parcours qui se met en place désormais qui s'appuie sur deux piliers fondamentaux. C'est celui de la valorisation des résultats acquis jusqu'ici dans la programmation 21-27, avec tous les mécanismes et tous les dispositifs auxquels nous tous pouvons contribuer. Donc, c'est vraiment les résultats à la base de notre action, dorénavant jusqu'à la fin de la programmation 21-27. Mais on ne peut pas oublier, et il ne faut surtout pas oublier, qu'une nouvelle programmation commencera, même pas officiellement, mais dans ces fondations, dans ces premiers débats, échanges, discussions, et que votre contribution est absolument nécessaire et prioritaire pour construire avec nous le futur des programmes Interreg. Donc, je vous invite vraiment à participer et contribuer à tout type de sondage qui pourrait vous être adressé ou à toute visioconférence que nous pourrions organiser pour apporter vos témoignages et nous signifier vos attentes en termes de nos perspectives futures. Voilà, donc c'est un peu ce que je voulais souligner dans cette intervention. Et maintenant, je vous laisse à mes collègues pour continuer sur des débats un peu plus centrés sur la programmation actuelle. Thank you very much, and again, welcome and good work for the future. Bye bye.
Thank you, Curzio, and hope you will stay with us. To complete these opening remarks, I am now giving the floor to Alessandra Sansi from the Union for the Mediterranean.
Thank you very much, Cleo, and thank you very much to everybody. It's a great pleasure to be here with you today. I mean, as was mentioned by Curzio, the MEDTalks, as an important moment of reflection, have by now become a regular gathering, which indeed allows us to bring together this idea that we always, let's say, called for, of ensuring that projects and processes at Mediterranean level are aligned as much as possible. I would like also to stress and express my gratitude also for Interreg Euro-MED, which is indeed the other part of the Mediterranean and the completing piece of the puzzle for us, together with the UNEMAP, specifically devoted to the environmental issues, which most of the governance projects do deal with, to be with us. Another important partner, which is not with us today, but which we always like to recall, is Prima, which is another, let's say, steady and important Mediterranean partner at large. I'd like also to share a few slides just to recap where we are. I don't know, Alberto, if I can proceed with the sharing. Share. Sorry, let me just go back to the slides. So let me just refresh a bit our memories on where we come from and where we go. Let's say that the Interreg Euro-MED governance projects were labeled by the Union for the Mediterranean. The idea was actually to restate the importance of governance, but also the importance of the specific missions of the Interreg Euro-MED, moving around nature, tourism, sustainable and blue economy, as well as green living areas, which are core dossier at the UFM as well. Particularly important for us was the representation of South and the activation, let's say, by all the actors involved of the clause and the modalities for having also the countries of the South and Eastern Med participating at large, which was the case, as well as to ensure equal footing and multi-stakeholder participation. So I'm saying something that actually the projects themselves are running at large. Very important as well is the territorial dimension. This is an issue that as UFM we have been progressively, let's say, integrate to ensure that also in our constituency the importance of territory be high. And last not least, of course, I mean, the Interreg were labeled by the 43 member countries, meaning that all the European countries plus all the Mediterranean countries, referring to the regions, including also Jordan and Mauritania, were agreeing to be part of it. However, what I would like to mention, just to, let's say, complete the picture that Kurt has already provided, is that we are in a different context. So we like a lot the fact that the Interreg Euro-MED was structured around, let's say, 7-year programming, which indeed allowed this progressive, let's say, integration of the process projects concept to materialize through very concrete outcomes and practical solutions. But indeed, this 7-year programming allowed this to happen in a very structured way. Of course, I mean, as I said, the context has changed and changed very rapidly. the political context at Mediterranean level, but of course also the international level. So we see that reflected in many different documents, and among those also in the strategic vision of the Union for the Mediterranean that has been just, let's say, agreed at the regional forum held 2 weeks ago here in Barcelona. Basically, the Strategic Vision 2025 builds on the comparative advantage and the added value of the UFM and sees a sort of restructuring of the thematic focus areas along the lines of what you see on the screen. It goes without saying that, of course, this is connected also to the MEDPact, the pact that the European Commission launched with the Mediterranean country. So the priorities, the thematic priorities are structured around the three pillars of connecting people, connecting countries, and connecting economies. To be more specific, of course, our ministerial remain the main guidance. So we keep the structure that we have, the famous three Ps. So the political part, so the ministerial declaration, the implementation part through the strategic and technical roadmaps and agendas, as well as the supporting and associated projects. So this is how all these fits, let's say, in our agenda. We have the Green MED agenda, we have the Sustainable Blue Economy Roadmap. These are associated to two specific ministerial declarations held in 2021 on environment and climate action and on sustainable blue economy, as well as the Connect to Other UFM agenda on research and innovation, in particular, transport and urban. I'd like to make a reference to the fact that these ministerial do last the time, let's say, the countries want them to last. So till next, let's say, consensus of a new ministerial, and let's say our planning is, let's say, to have another round of ministerial in 2027. Of course, as we are based on consensus, a lot will be depending on the political situation, again, in the region, but also in the wider international context. I'd like to conclude by referring to, as I said, the renewed political and policy context. There are two very important elements. One is the Ocean Pact that was launched and approved on the occasion of UNOP3 in Marseille. We had the opportunity to contribute to the Mediterranean Day. We had a dedicated day for the Mediterranean. This is what we as UFM, let's say, usually foster, dedicated attention to the Mediterranean as one. For example, at UNOC, for example, at the various climate COP, and in many other, let's say, events and fora. And the MEDPact that, as I mentioned, is very much focused on connecting people, countries, and economies. Now, the missions do focus overall on the themes that I mentioned, which are covered by our agendas of Green MED and the Sustainable Blue Economy, together with the integrated pieces on research and innovation, transport, and urban that we try to constantly bring in. But of course, I mean, this round circle means that all the partnership we have in place with Interreg MED, Interreg Next MED, of course, with UNEMAP, it goes without saying, we were also the past COP24, will be part, so this is the new context that we are shaping. We will have, of course, to take into account these new developments. So with no further delay and with all my best wishes, I leave you to the meeting, to a fruitful discussion, and we look forward to meet you at the end of the event to recap on the main, let's say, outcomes and findings. So Cleo, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Alessandra. Actually, I'm also pleased to give the floor to our colleague Sophie Carvelis, again from Interreg Euro-MED Joint Secretariat, for a short introduction to the program.
Hello, good morning from my side too. I'm Sophie Carvelis from the Joint Secretariat of the Interreg Euro-MED Programme. So let's now present shortly the program and its organization in order for you to understand it and to see where you can stand, where you can participate, and how things, and to understand how things are going to organize in the following hours for this seminar. Our mission is simple, quite, but yet ambitious, to accelerate the transition to a climate neutral and resilient Mediterranean in line with the Green Deal, the UN Sustainable Development Goals, and the Territorial Agenda 2030. And we believe that this can only happen through cooperation and coordination among all stakeholders. Likewise, collaboration across the Mediterranean is essential. And to succeed, we need partners from every shore, north, south, east, and west, working together to shape solutions that matter. You see the presentation, right? Sorry.
Not
No,
yet,
we
Sophie.
don't.
No? Oh, sorry. Okay. Because for me, it's shared.
Now it's working.
Now, yes? Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, it was the first slide, so you didn't miss anything yet. So, as I said, and it was already mentioned by Curcio and Alessandra, the collaboration across the Mediterranean is essential for us, and we need partners from every shore, even in a way or another. What makes our program unique? We connect 870 partners across 69 regions in 14 countries, and more than 1,000 associated partners in 37 countries, among which 10 from southern and eastern shores of the Mediterranean. So this creates a trusted network of knowledge and innovation. And these connections are more than meetings, they are bridges that allow a municipality in Croatia to learn from a circular economy in a pilot in France, or a region in Portugal to adopt climate adaptation measures that have been tested in Slovenia, for example. And how do we make this happen? Our strength lies in our program architecture. We have thematic projects that deliver concrete results on the ground, innovations in sustainable economy, sustainable tourism, biodiversity, and green living areas. And we have governance projects that amplify these results, ensuring that ideas don't stay in silo, but scale up into regional strategies and influence European and Mediterranean policies. So together, they create synergies, foster knowledge transfer, and turn local solutions into policy impact. This is why we work closely with Mediterranean and European stakeholders, including, of course, the Union for the Mediterranean. And we organize initiatives like the MEDTalks, now in its third year. Most importantly, our focus is on territories and people. Every action starts with local needs and ends with tangible benefits for the citizens. Whether we reduce energy consumption, promote green mobility, or protect biodiversity, we make territories more livable, more attractive, and more resilient. And Interreg Euro-MED is not just funding projects, it's building communities of change makers. The numbers speak for themselves. We have now 8 governance projects running for 7 years and building communities of practice, mentoring programs, peer-to-peer exchanges, and more. They are your entry point to know more about thematic projects working on fields of your interest. You can easily participate in some of their activities, as the communities of practice, the mentoring and training programs, or the peer-to-peer exchanges. They will present to you their key activities and first results, and will animate the breakout room so that you will have more information in a while. And then we have, for now, 88 thematic projects that are currently funded that drives innovation and sustainability. They belong to one of our 4 missions, And to give you an insight, you can find here the names and topics on which they are working on by mission. Here in the Innovative Sustainable Economy mission, for example, you have 23 projects working either on marine resources, resources valorization, industrial transition, or agri-food systems. With a little asterisk before the name, you will find the project that will end between March and September next year in 2026. So this means that their results are quite ready or under publication now. And also, those projects may potentially continue with a new phase. So, in this new phase, they will search for new partners and associated partners to join existing partnerships. So, this would be also an opportunity maybe for you to jump in a more concrete way in those projects. If we see the natural heritage mission here, we have other topics like risk management and resilience, coastal and sea environment, wetlands, carbon removal, climate change adaptation, or forests. The same here for the projects that are ending in few months. In the Green Living Area mission, we have projects on mobility, we have projects on energy, urban planning and finance, or nature-based solutions and water management. And finally, in our Sustainable Tourism mission, we have 22 projects on innovation and technology capacities, on climate change adaptation, circular economy, or nature and biodiversity. It's also interesting for you to know that we have launched a new initiative on the sustainable tourism topic, gathering 10 Interreg programs in the Mediterranean, in order to work together on exchanging knowledge, results, experiences, finance by those 10 programs. And we will launch a coordinated call for capitalization projects in 2026 that could be also of interest for you. And Interreg NextMed is participating in this initiative as well. So finally, I wanted also to show you that we offer a space for stakeholders to access to project results. Some are already available, and that has been designed with high quality and transferability potential. So also some training sessions that will be soon available. Those trainings are organized around different topics, 6 topics. You can see them on the right side of the slide. Climate resilience and adaptation, circular and regenerative economic models, sustainable use of natural resources, innovation for environmental transitions, community engagement and sustainable governance, and nature-based solutions and ecosystem restoration. So you have the possibility also to go to our Euro-MED Academy website and to have either access to the library with results and outputs and deliverables of that can be really of interest for you. And you can also join, you will have the possibility in the following weeks to join the training sessions. So just to conclude, our invitation to you is to join us, to explore our projects, to connect with our networks, to bring your ideas on the table, because together we can unlock smart and green solutions for a better Mediterranean. And today, take this opportunity to learn what our projects are doing, are producing, in which activities you could participate, and you can identify projects and ask to get in contact with them directly. So the breakout rooms will be also a possibility to know more in details for each mission. Thank you very much. And Cleo, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Sophie. I will now leave the floor to the 4 missions governance project representative that will be presenting key achievement and results from their missions in 50 minutes each, and starting with Neus Tirado and Bernard Bassabo, representative of Green Living Areas mission.
Hello, good morning. I'm trying to share my screen. Yeah, it should work now, right?
Yes, but it's not in presentation mode. Yes,
It is
perfect.
now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for having us with you today. I am Neus Tirado. I do work at MedCities, and I'm here to represent, as Cleo was mentioning, the Green Living Areas mission. And also after Sophie's introduction, I would briefly like to share with you what is our mission. The Green Living Areas mission aims to improve the life of Mediterranean citizens, and maybe you're wondering how. It's by reducing negative climate impacts on the region's ecosystem and enhancing climate resilience. And the thematic projects of the mission, they mostly focus on air pollution, energy, and mobility. Also, Sophie was presenting some of the projects in her presentation. We would like to present a small summary of our mission and also of the result of the mission in 2025. So you're going to see this circle called Green Living Areas Mission, and you'll see that the main stakeholders of the mission are for sure the thematics project, which are the ones presenting and producing solutions, technical but also policy solutions. We also have the governance project, meaning the projects who try to amplify somehow the results of the thematic projects. But we do also have associated partners and other key Euro-Mediterranean stakeholders that are contributing to the success of the mission. We do have 25 thematic projects that are divided into 5 thematic working groups. These working groups, for example, on mobility, energy, etc., they have been working together for the past year. And we do also have territorial antennas for the thematic projects from each country to be able to meet each other and speak in the language of their own territory, and also to tackle the challenges of their own territories, national territories together. We have organized one thematic community event for all the thematic projects to be there, as well as the governance projects. We have been participating at European events. We do also have one institutional policy dialogue with the support of Euro-Mediterranean stakeholders. My colleague Bernard will present in more detail all the policy results later on. And as you may see in the presentation, our key objectives for this mission are, on one side, to build a community and amplify all the solutions, as I was mentioning, and also analyze the transferability of the thematic project solutions, meaning trying to understand which solutions can be further transferred and shared with other projects or in other contexts, as well as amplify the policy instruments. And in this year, 9 policy instruments have been presented with the identification of takers. We would like to quickly present the technical-oriented results of the mission. As I was mentioning, the territorial antennas, we have been having 8 live events in Slovenia, Spain, Croatia, Italy, Greece, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Albania, and Bulgaria, which serve as national entry point of the Green Living Areas mission, as I was saying, and which also ensure effective dissemination of solutions and results and operate as transfer facilitator. And they also work as solution mainstreaming. As very specific technical-oriented results, we would like to present the Add to toolbox, which is like the main outcome of the one of the governance project, I would say, which is describing the main transferable solutions for thematic projects, and that will serve to present them later on an online platform. We've also prepared a brochure, meaning a catalog of all the solutions that are being developed under the mission. We have also organized a thematic community event in Barcelona in May. That was like a key networking event, also serving for projects to present their solutions, but with some space for trainings and team building within the mission as well. We have been participating in European fairs to present the thematic project solutions and results. And we have been organizing an online working group for sessions for the working groups, where we have been preparing the next outcome, or together, which will be the joint technical papers per thematic working group under the mission. I will let my colleague Bernard present the policy-oriented results. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nils. Good morning, everyone. My name is Bernard Massabo from the Nice Côte d'Azur Metropolis in France, and we are more focusing on policy issues within the green living areas. And in this frame, we are implemented an institutional dialogue process with the objective of first identifying mature replicable policy instruments mainly coming from the thematic projects, but also coming from other Euro-MED stakeholders, in order also to enrich the work the thematic projects are doing. And then after identifying these policy instruments, the idea is to exchange on these policy instruments and engage policy-oriented stakeholders from the thematic projects to replicate, adapt, and scale these initiatives or instruments. And to do that, we are using a collaborative platform of policy-oriented solutions, the Euclid platform, which has been designed and launched a few months ago. And during the breakout room session, you will be able to get some details regarding this platform, which is open to anyone, to any interested stakeholders, and of course to the Southern Shore or Eastern Shore stakeholders. Next slide, please, Neus. The next two slides, you will have an idea of the topics which have been discussed during the first two institutional policy dialogues, which were also held back to back with the European Week of Regions and Cities. The idea is also to illustrate all the topics from the green living areas, so green mobility, renewable energy, with a link with economic development, and for this specific instrument, we are also working closely with the Innovative Sustainable Economy Mission, also mobility hubs. So it's linked also to green mobility. And in the next slide, more instruments linked to either energy plans or also territorial planning, energy communities. And during the breakout room session, you will have the opportunity to get a focus on one of these policy initiatives linked to behavioral change strategies for urban climate change mitigation and adaptation through the Nudges thematic project. And then for perhaps in next slide, yes, you can now go on with the next steps for the.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bernard. So I'm gonna present the next steps in terms of transferring solutions, and then also Bernard is gonna present the next steps in terms of policy. So I was previously talking about the ETO system. So here I'm gonna briefly present the ETO platform, but my colleague Magali, she would, if you're interested in this platform, my colleague Magali, she will further present this tool later on in our breaking room. So the ETO platform, it will include the catalog of solutions, and it will gather and classify all thematic projects, results, and solutions. The interesting thing also to present here today is that the solutions will be available in most Mediterranean languages, including Arabic. So Southern stakeholders can benefit from innovative solutions that can be adapted or relevant to their own climate plans. The platform is still in testing mode, so it's kind of a beta platform for the moment, and the link of the final platform or the final format will be shared in the next months or in the months to come. Then we also wanted to present the mentoring and training project or call that will be happening by the end of year 2026. It will be a mentoring scheme to transfer the solutions to strategic takers, and we really encourage southern municipalities and takers from the south to apply to the open call. It's going to be an open call that will be published in the channels of the mission. And then we also wanted to mention that the mission has associated partners in the south. It's around 15 associated partners in the southern shore of the Mediterranean. They are active part of the thematic projects, and they are involved in the production of results and outputs and the creation of synergies, but also in translating results and outputs into Arabic. And the most important aspect is that they are adapting them to their own context. In terms of next steps for us, we will be having the new series of the territorial antennas. We will be launching, as I was mentioning, the ETO platform online. We will be having the thematic community annual event in Patras in Greece in April. We also will be participating in the Festival of the New European Bauhaus in Brussels in June. We will present the main solutions in terms of mobility in the Civitas Forum Conference, and end of November 2026, we will be having the mid-term event of the Interreg Euro-MED Programme. And I will let Bernard again present the next steps in terms of policy under the mission. Thank you.
Yes, in terms of internal policy dialogues, for 2026 we intend to focus on specific thematic dialogues and to benefit from existing targeted events. For instance, we are now working with the Circle de Med organizers in Athens and the Innovative Sustainable Economy to propose a short institutional dialogue related to water communities and energy communities. Also, we intend to propose a dialogue in the frame of the EU Sustainable Energy Week, which will be more related to energy transition policy framework coming from the thematic projects. And also, we have perhaps one opportunity to participate in the Global Congress on Climate Change next autumn in Paris. And then we will also propose an initial policy dialogue on mobility in the frame of a mobility conference in Greece, in Patras, at the end of the year. And we are also, and this is more specific, more focusing on the central with Energy Cities Algeria. We are trying to develop a specific dialogue for Algerian municipalities on the topic of energy communities, capitalizing on what has been proposed during the last internal policy dialogue this year. So it's still under development, but we hope we will be able to propose this dialogue specifically for the Algerian municipalities. Thank you. And then yes, if you're willing to join the breakout room session, you will learn more about what at the mission level we are proposing, and you will understand how specifically coming from the southern shore or the eastern shore, you could join the mission and participate in the work. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Neus. Thank you, Bernard. We are still on time, so it will be now Alessandro D'Araio and Clara Casasnovas from Innovative Sustainable Economy Mission that will present their key results and main achievement.
Good morning. Thank you, Cleo.
Good morning, everyone. Okay, I will start, but Clara is managing the slides, so whenever you're ready, Clara, we can start.
Okay, ready. I mean, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Great.
Okay, good morning, everyone. So we will be very quickly presenting, let's say, our mission. The mission is Innovative Sustainable Economy. Maybe, Clara, if you can already go to the, so we see that the slides are moving. Okay, we will have very short, let's say, outline of the scope of the mission, and then we will focus more on some of the activities. In our mission, it was said before also by Sophie, is related as the name of the mission. Innovative, it is called Innovative Sustainable Economy. Basically, it deals with different aspects of orienting innovation towards sustainability. So moving actually to support the transition toward a fair transition toward more circular and sustainable economy, either in the blue economy field, so related to marine resources, but also in many sectors of the blue economy, having an attention to the territorial dimension. So, for example, with several projects working on, for example, rural areas and the bioeconomy. The mission at the moment is composed, so it includes 23 thematic projects, plus the governance projects, of course. Most of them have started already in 2020, 23-24, and are close to the end of the project, so have already solutions and results that will be ready very soon. 9 of them have been started more recently, this year, basically in 2025. So we'll be working on the next 2-3 years. And this means there is a lot of opportunity to engage and to interact with them. As you can see also from the distribution of partnership, there are more than 200 organizations working in these projects, quite, let's say, well distributed across the so-called quadruple helix, but with a good majority representation of public authorities that are in many cases also local authorities. If we go to the next one, we just for, let's say, for a memo and to share it, these are the focus area that has been, let's say, we have created to organize this, let's say, large number of projects active and working at the same moment. So one is related to blue economy, as I said, to marine resources from different point of view. Another important area is related to agri-food system and bioeconomy in general. And then we have the two, one more, let's say, related to sustainable technologies and industrial transition, new business model for transition to sustainability, and all the circular economy aspects going from, let's say, industrial or citizens, consumer, so all aspects for resource valorization. During the breakout room, we will go deeper in this and also to more details on the, let's say, some example, more concrete solution and activities which are performed in this area. So this is just for a general introduction. And Clara, we can go to the other one, as also the colleagues from the other mission already highlighted. Also, in our case, there are in several projects, associated partners, so partner associated from non-EU, from outside the program area, so namely from southern and eastern shore of the Mediterranean, basically from Morocco, Tunisia, Libya, Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Turkey. There are several partners, so already actively working with the thematic projects, but as you will see, and Clara will present, there are also other opportunities for additional stakeholders to get involved in the activities. For example, I see the question now in chat from Palestine. We have some takers that will be mentioned, other actors we have been working with, but I guess at the moment there are no associated partners in the consortia. Finally, just to give you an understanding of what the governance projects do, basically our key activity Sophie was mentioning is also bridging the gap with this solution that are developed by the thematic projects. And on one side, we say the policy environment, but more in general, let's say to amplify the results, to have some more structural change and impact in the socioeconomic context of the Mediterranean. And basically our activities are, as shown in the slide, are grouped in 4 categories. So there are, let's say, a bulk of activity related to mapping resources, either internal resources, so like catalog of solution and other tools to make this solution available and accessible to all interested stakeholders. A lot of activities are related to community engagement, and later we will see some of them. Capacity building, which are also related to the Euro-MED Academy, but addition to that, to work together and to learn how to better exploit the cooperation, and also to accelerate, as usual, the transition to sustainable economy. And some of the activities are related to the policy impact, and I will focus now on this last part, and then I will give the floor to Clara. So if we go to the next one, yeah. Okay, so as I said, especially the governance projects, we try to amplify the results, also creating synergies with other activities. Now projects are experimenting solutions, which are in a way small, sometimes fragmented, but also, let's say, can be a bit disconnected. So we try to connect among themselves, but also with other initiatives and what is happening around the Mediterranean, so many other programs, but initiatives. This is what we call the activities to promote synergies, indeed. So to open channel to institutions and to networks, a lot of networks existing in the Euro-Mediterranean to spread the message and amplify. And so to try to be let's say, relevant in this kind of process, but also to put available what we produce within the mission for the benefit of this initiative. So let's say, also, if you have activities in this sense, we are very open to contribute and to bring our solutions. This happened, maybe Clara, we go to the next one. Also, participating to events, as was already recalled, that is one of the ways to meet very easily, either in person or online, and we are rather present in the Union for the Mediterranean stakeholder events, but also, let's say, other kind of networking activities. And we mentioned in the slide some example from the past, but of course it will happen also in the future. I focus just 1 second more on this a little bit, let's say, more systematic activity that we started with the mission Ocean and Water, that is the EU mission Ocean and Water, that has a specific lighthouse on the Mediterranean, in the Mediterranean basin. And we have been working with let's say, Blue Mission Med, that is in a way the governance project of this lighthouse, to emphasize and to match the solution produced within our mission with also the acceleration opportunities which are provided by the mission. We go quickly to the next one. So Clara, I will leave enough floor to you. There are activities that we are developing on promoting, let's say, advocacy, so policy messages, This is part of the ISEC Hub activities. And here you see an example of let's say a reply to a consultation that was open on the next Circular Economy Act at the EU level, but we also follow, let's say, other Mediterranean activities like, for example, the Mediterranean Pact, again promoted by the EU. And but Clara will explain you better. There is an area in our hub where we try to put everything together, where this opportunity is also to contribute to our consultations and to our contribution that we launch are, let's say, active to collect input by other stakeholders. Last slide from my side. Another round of activity that is more related to, let's say, engage with policymaking, but more at regional, local, sometimes also national level, is through what we call transformative innovation policy lab, which are conceived as facilitated spaces to, let's say, engage stakeholders to work on a challenge that is relevant for them. A challenge, of course, related to the mission scope. So there are many complex challenges related to sustainability transition. Let's say, to work together to have a better understanding of the challenge, and on the base of this, also some idea of how to better tackle these kind of challenges, enhancing the solutions and the knowledge that is produced also by our thematic projects. So we are launching now, actually some of them have already started, the first generation of TIP labs, which are 9 TIP labs that are working on different challenges. For example, a few of them are working on an issue that is relevant for everyone, like water scarcity and water resilience in the Euro-Mediterranean region. One of these TIP labs that will be, let's say, facilitated, hosted by MEDWaves, will be organized with a stakeholder in the southern shore of the Mediterranean, so outside the program area, as because we always want to underline that we are very open to work also outside the program area. But most important, there will be in 2027 an open call for a second round of a second generation of TIP lab, so where we will ask additional stakeholders also from outside the program area the interest to host, so to be the owner of additional TIP labs that we will put the resources for facilitation and for the technical support. With this slide, I finished my part. I will give the floor to Clara, that will explain you better how to get in touch and to work. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Alessandro, and good morning, everyone. It is truly a pleasure to be here. So moving on, what I will explain is basically what transfer tools we can provide from the ESA mission to foster collaboration, mainly across the Mediterranean. So as already mentioned by Alessandro, one of our most important tools is the ISEC Hub, a community that brings together committed stakeholders from across the Mediterranean. It offers a space to connect, exchange knowledge, and act, especially within the green and blue circular economy sectors. So as of now, we are pleased to announce that the relaunch of the ISEC Hub is hosting now different services, now structured in actually 4 pillars. The first one is the pillar Connect, which offers 2 user-friendly services that help members basically to identify partners and stay up to date. One of them is the Dynamic Hub Directory, and the other one is an interactive space that is hosted as a LinkedIn group, which you are all welcome to join. Then there is the pillar Learn, on the other hand, which supports continuous learning and skills development through basically tailored mentoring programs and access to online trainings, which are also linked with the Interreg Euro-MED Academy, which is a cross-mission activity. Then thirdly, there is the Share pillar, which provides 2 digital tools to enable dialogue and basically connect updates on ongoing activities, relevant events, and so on. And these 2 are, for example, like the knowledge sharing space, which is hosted on Miro board. And also there is a rolling calendar also, which highlights highlights basically the opportunities. Finally, there is the pillar Collaborate, which Alessandro already explained. This pillar basically seeks to transform, like what we already mentioned, no? That it's co-developed ideas into joint actions. One of the examples was the position paper that we submitted on the Circular Economy Act, and this is done through the Scan for Messages. On the other hand, we do have another feature, which is the Scan for Hubs, which represents an opportunity basically to monitor and engage with existing similar initiatives in the same field. So if you would like to join also the LinkedIn group that I already mentioned under the pillar Connect and become a member of the ISEC Hub, I encourage you all to scan the QR code that you can see here and explore the services that we have, stay informed about ongoing activities, and basically join a community that will eventually act as well as the foundation for long-term cooperation past beyond the individual project lifespans. So, one of the main features that we would like to highlight from the ISEC Hub is precisely the mentoring and twinning program, which directly connects stakeholders with experts and project teams from the mission's thematic projects. So through basically online and in-person exchanges, participants are able to receive practical, tailored support to adapt and implement proven solutions into their own local context. So the program basically was launched in January, and so far it has been followed like by a 1-year trajectory. So far, we are quite satisfied with it, and it has included as well like the successful launch of the pilot phase with a total of 4 stakeholders from both the northern and the southern shore of the Mediterranean. So if you are part of the shore, like of this, and you are committed to the values of the ISE mission, you are more than welcome to join. So yeah, we are now basically entering the second half of the implementation period, and during this, we are looking for new participants to engage with. So just to provide you 2 examples of what this consists of, we have 2 very engaged partners from the southern eastern Mediterranean, which are Olga Batran and George Youssef. Both of them have been continuously engaged in mission activities. And for example, in the case of Olga, she is the director of the B Hub at Birzeit University in Palestine. So she is also currently paired with one of our thematic projects, which is Green Smart Med. And in their case, their joint work addresses R&D, challenges in industrial transition, focusing specifically on small businesses and youth employment in the context of Palestine, among many other issues. In the case of George Youssef, he is based in Lebanon, and he is the founder of AgroCedros, which works right now with another thematic project, which is olive oil MedNet. And basically, they are working to replicate authenticity practices for other types of crops, namely the one that he is working with, which is carob. So, well, I mentioned that we are looking now for new people to join this program. So we are very happy to be working with them, but also if you consider yourself a committed stakeholder and one of the ISE mission priorities that we will also discuss in the breakout room later on, we welcome you to join the program, and you can do this by filling in the survey that you will have in the pillar Learn of the ISEC Hub, or also by scanning this QR code. This is very simple. Simply, you need to scan the code and then answer this survey with your interests, and the hub later on will assess your profile and match you with a relevant expert or expert teams from the mission's thematic projects. So we're finishing up now with the upcoming events. Basically, how can you join and follow our work? So we are currently preparing for the 2 key events that will take place in the fringes of the Circle the Med Forum in Athens by the mid-May. One is the 5th Community of Practice, and the other one is the Med Innovation Summit. So these events basically bring together the entire ISE community and feature panel discussions as well as thematic working groups. That's internal work that we do usually in order to keep engaged and foster knowledge exchange. Then on the other hand, there is the MED Innovation Summit, which will include thematic sessions reflecting on current priorities. So in this case, participation is open to anyone that is registered to the Circle the Med Forum. However, we do have avenues to sponsor two participants that would like to attend that are not mission, like part of the community yet. So we encourage you to stay tuned for the MED Innovation Contest, which we run as part of the ISEC Hub. And basically you need to be to be eligible, you need to be an ISEC Hub member. As I said, you can register by typing isechhub.eu, and then you can carefully review the terms of reference, complete the registration form, and submit a short cover letter in English in case you would like to be sponsored. So we estimate that the call will open in February 2026, and it covers accommodation and travel expenses only. In addition to this, we would like to highlight as well the thematic projects that are coming now to an end and are already organizing their final events in 2026. For example, just very quickly, Verde in Med final conference will be on the 13th of March in Thessaloniki. Carbon Farming Med is scheduled as well, has a last event at the end of May in Barcelona, Blue Ecosystem as well at the end of April in Marseille. And there are many others that you can follow also on the progress that they made and also on the results. You can follow through our website and their website as well for more details. Finally, we would like to encourage you, of course, to join our breakout room. We will focus on territorial priorities for a just transition in the Mediterranean, and we hope to engage as many of you to not just to identify them and to see what potential collaborations we can establish with the mission, but also to have a dynamic conversation that can produce some tangible results later on. So we have prepared a lot of activities, and we would like that you come in with your inputs and we can have an engaging discussion. So please don't hesitate to join us, and thank you for your attention.
Clara, thank you, Alessandro. Before giving the floor to Sustainable Tourism Mission, I would like to remind that we will have questions through the chat, and only specific questions will be answered during breakout room sessions. So if you really want to ask something, use the chat, and we will have 5-10 minutes after the main presentations to answer them. Thank you. And I will give the floor to Julia Saiz-Pardo and Georgina Calvo-Veja, represent Sustainable Tourism Mission. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Cleo. Let me share my screen. In our case, it will be me who starts speaking. Just 1 second. Sorry, I think I cannot find the PowerPoint presentation. 1 second. Here. Okay, you see the screen now? I'll put it in presentation mode.
Hello, morning.
Okay, so, well, in the case of the Sustainable Tourism Mission, well, thank you so much for having us here today as well. I'm Georgina Calvo. I work at the Barcelona Provincial Council, and I'm representing here today the Sustainable Tourism Mission together with my colleague Julia Saiz-Pardo from the Dialogue for Tourism project as well. We will be splitting the presentation as with the other partners. So, well, we'll start also with this slide with the composition of our mission. In our case, we are also these 2 governance projects, a total amount of 20 projects in the Sustainable Tourism Mission, and more than 50 associated partners. Well, Sophie mentioned before the projects of our mission. in the earlier presentation. So if you want more information, you can go when you share the presentations later. You can check in this link below to our website, where you will find different posters explaining the main focus of each project of our mission, the partnership, and the most relevant details and information of each project.
Sorry, Georgina, if I may,
Yes.
we are only seeing your first screen. If you are so kind to move the slides.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I am moving through the. It is weird. Let me try sharing it again. Maybe I will just share the whole screen. So you see the screen now. I put it in presentation mode again. Do the slides change?
Now, thanks.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Julia. So I was here. It was just this few data of the composition of our mission. In this second slide, well, it's just to reinforce this idea, no, that we are composed by more than 180 different organizations through all the projects that are part of the mission. It is well, these ones are more related to the profile of the entities that participate in the project, and it's worth mention that a lot of the entities participating and involved in our mission are regional and local public authorities, and local and regional development agencies and destination management organizations, which in the case of the tourism in the Mediterranean, these kind of organizations used to be the main actors, no, when it comes to implementing solutions and the governance of the tourism. So, well, going to the main activities and resources, we will present you a couple of slides to capture in a very concrete way how the mission translates these objectives that we have. You know, as our previous colleague said, that as governance projects, we try to generate a specific results to add on what the thematic projects are developing. We also try to amplify the results of the projects of the mission, and we try to make sure that all of these results have an impact also at the institutional and policy level. So here are four main specific results. We have the publication of a blueprint for tourism climate action plan. This is a practical guide that we published more than 1 year ago, that is designed specifically for regional authorities and destination management organizations to assist them in the development of tourism climate action plans and define actions to move forward as destinations in the implementation of actions and to fight against climate change, no? And in alignment with the Mediterranean reality. One other activity that we constantly, well, it is a transversal activity that we are promoting within our mission, is the MED clusters and the working groups. This is one of the mission's most important achievements, and they are open and active collaboration spaces where the projects of the mission, institutions, and different experts conform different working groups across 4 priority areas, which are the 4 main areas that our thematic projects tackle, which are innovation, circular economy, climate change, and nature and biodiversity. This is, in these groups, we exchange knowledge, we exchange the results of the projects, and we work together in order to develop common solutions and other publications. On a third place, we have also the MED Knowledge Hub. This is a platform to support dissemination and the reuse of the results of the mission. And we created this platform as one single access point where different tools, methodologies, practices, and policy relevant outputs are made visible and reusable beyond the individual projects. No, it's a way to gather all of the resources that we are developing together. And finally, we have also this document, the ICZM and MSC Practices Handbook for Tourism, which is a document that responds to a very concrete need in coastal and maritime destinations, which is how to reconcile the tourism development with spatial planning and the ecosystem protection. So this handbook brings together different tested practices and best practices and lessons learned that offer some guidance for authorities that work in this complex coastal context, which is something that happens mainly in all Mediterranean destinations. And the next slide is for Julia, I think. Yes, Julia.
Thank you, Georgina. Hello, everyone. My name is Julia Saiz Pardo from El Legado Andalucía Andalusian Public Foundation from the Regional Ministry of Culture and Sport of Andalusia. Thank you very much for having here us today. It's a pleasure. From this governance project, we are working to transfer the results and challenges from our thematic projects to the policy level in close collaboration with Community for Tourism, together with Dialogue for Tourism and our thematic projects for the Sustainable Tourism Mission. So we are speaking about a process of engagement, transfer, and synergies that we are going to explain today with concrete examples in our breakout room. Together with some activities and initiatives and policy tools that can be interested for the South Med stakeholders. So we are having here some concrete examples on how we are working in this process of transferring with policy tools and creating events like our joint annual forum of the Sustainable Tourism Mission, which is the vision to get together and match the solutions with those institutions ready for engagement in this policy level that we are speaking today. So here you can find the different, for different policy tools, we are speaking about concrete actions in which we are working currently. First, we have the white paper on sustainable tourism governance in the Euro-MED area. Which are these white papers? These white papers are drawing on the case studies from our thematic projects for addressing the challenges that we have nowadays in the implementation of the sustainable tourism in the Euro-MED area, together with policy recommendations as a vital resource for policymakers, tourism stakeholders, and local authorities committed to addressing the impacts of climate change. So we have already launched the first white paper. You have the QR code there if you want to consult it. This was focused on climate adaptation. And then in our breakout room, my colleagues are going to present the upcoming white papers, one on circular tourism practice from our thematic projects focus on this topic. And the other one, it's about islands as hubs for sustainable tourism. Then we would like to present today as well our network of sustainable tourism observatories, which is of course open to the participation of the South Med stakeholders, and we are going to have a couple of testimonials about that in our breakout room. This network brings together more than 40 actors, policymakers, and institutions in the Med region, sharing data on sustainable tourism and specific tools along with best practices, encouraging the transfer and reuse of knowledge. So this working group is led by the governance project, and we have in the core of the network our thematic project. So for the beginning of the next year, we have an upcoming publication, which is the Practical Guide for Sustainable Tourism Observatories Transferable Solutions. Here we can find some of the examples presented in the annual event that we have of the network, and that took place in Brussels last May. We would like also to speak to you about the first policy recommendations documents of the Gross Network Alliance in Sustainable Tourism. We have the coming publication for the beginning of the next year, which will be the second policy recommendations. And this working group is tackling technological and circular solutions that can help to accelerate the mitigation of environmental impact, sustainable innovations, and sustainable tourism as well. So we have different events as the one that's already mentioned today as Circle the Med in Athens as well. This is an event that we are sharing with other missions. And also we would like to mention our massive online course on transfer mainstreaming for the Interreg Euro-MED Academy, which is very much advanced, and we are going to have the first modules at the beginning of 2026. So it is important because there we describe the different processes engaging the transfer for our results to the stakeholders and at governance level. Next slide, please. Yeah, in this sense, from the Sustainable Tourism Mission, we thought that it was important today to share with you some of the events in which we have participate in this frame with the SouthMed stakeholders. So in this sense, we collaborated together with Union for the Mediterranean in a session in COP30 in Belém in Brazil, and where we presented a preview of the white paper of Islands as Hub for Sustainable Tourism with the engagement of some stakeholders like the Tunisian Tourism National Office and the University Almanar from Tunisia. So in this context, we share some good practices from the thematic projects of the mission, showcasing our commitment to climate action and sustainable development. It was important as well along this year, our participation in the city of Split in Croatia in the event Path That Last, organized by the Mediterranean Multi-Program Mechanism. Let me tell you a bit about this collaborative framework that brings together multiple European territorial cooperation programs working in the Mediterranean area, including Interreg Euro-MED, Interreg Greece, Cyprus, Interreg Italy, Croatia, Interreg Italia, Malta, Interreg Italia, Slovenia, Interreg Italy, France Maritime, Interreg Next, Italy, Tunisia, and Interreg NESMED. That is why we wanted to mention this event today, because it is very important to frame the collaboration among the projects of Interreg Euro-MED and in the case of the Southern Med stakeholder with Interreg NESMED. So in this frame and in collaboration, of course, with our program Interreg Euro-MED, we managed with two very interesting workshops, because they were very dynamic workshops on shared and strategic governance of the tourism offer and tourism and green transition, where we have the opportunity to discuss different governance models with representatives from Interreg NESMED as the one that we are mentioning in this slide, like Resin Med and climate projects, among others, with partners from Turkey, Jordan, Lebanon, and Tunisia. They actively contributed to this change with members of the Sustainable Tourism Mission attending and managing these workshops. Next slide, Georgina, please.
Yeah, I go now. So following with some concrete examples on cooperation with the Southern and Eastern Mediterranean partners. In our case, we organize annually the Sustainable Tourism Community Meeting. This is the internal gathering event of the whole mission that this year in Tirana in October brought together these 22 projects, the Joint Secretariat, mission representatives, and associated partners. It's worth saying that one of our associated partners is the University of Jordan, they are always very involved in our activities, such as, well, this kind of meetings, the clusters, and so on, as they are associated partner in our mission. Second concrete cooperation channel, already mentioned by Julia, is through the Mediterranean Multi-Program Mechanism. Besides organizing this launching event in Croatia before summer, in November, the MMN was present in the Sun and Blue Congress, and there the Interreg Euro-MED Programme, NextMed and WestMed initiative could present this initiative and talk about the project results and how to reach policymakers through this mechanism. And I wanted also to mention that within our partnership, we have networks that help us strengthen this cooperation and exchanges in both sea basins of the Mediterranean. We have the CPMR, MedCities is also associated partner, the UNIMED, European Universities Network of the Mediterranean. So through these networks, also the southern and eastern actors can also engage with the initiatives that are taking place in our mission. And lastly, we wanted also to mention, to finalize, a couple of activities that we are preparing for next year that could be good places for collaboration with southern and eastern actors. One of them is the third Med Sustainable Tourism Convention. This is the midterm event of the Community for Tourism project, of the Sustainable Tourism Mission. It will take place in Barcelona on the 18th and 19th of June. And this is an event in which all actors are open, is open so they can attend as public participants or also as speakers according to their profile. So for this event, we will mobilize tourism stakeholders from the Mediterranean and share the results of the mission in dialogue with the main challenges that the tourism industry faces in the Mediterranean. So we think that this is a very good opportunity in order to represent a bit these challenges that the tourism industry faces. And the second one, Julia, I give you the floor so you can close.
Yes, thank you, Georgina. Yes, indeed, we wanted to introduce the two main events that we have for the incoming year. So together with the Med Sustainable Tourism Convention in Barcelona, let's say our second main event, it is the second session of the Sustainable Tourism Policy Lab, which is a flagship event for us, hosting a multi-actor policy discussion, very dynamic on transfer of results and tools of our mission projects. So in this sense, the participants engage in dynamic discussions and group activities that explore effective governance model and strategic coordination mechanisms in their own territory and in our thematic projects. So we have already implemented them in Athens and in Varna, Bulgaria, on the occasion of our joint annual forum of the mission, to which we would like to invite you all to participate too. And the next one will be on the 19th March in Nicosia, Cyprus, under the auspices of the Cypriot presidency of the Council of the European Union. We are talking to them, to the organizers, in order to participate in the activities as well of the presidency on those dates. So this is a very, let's say, a quick review of our activity events and from the mission, from our Sustainable Tourism Mission. And we would like to invite you all to the breakout room that we have prepared, in which we are going to explain in detail the incoming white paper. So it is a session to speak about circular tourism and sustainability in islands. And with this topic, we have invited two testimonials, and together with our associated partners from the South Med of the mission. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Julia, Georgina. I'm now giving the opportunity for Marinela Moshanaki and Katerina Pratsiko from Natural Heritage Mission to also present their result, and we will have a Q&A session just after this last presentation of 4 missions key achievements.
Thank you, Cleo. Maybe we can share our presentation because I see the one that is being shared. It's the not the updated one. Just give me. Are you seeing my screen?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. Thank you. I'm Marilena Mohenaki-Karabadzaki from region of Crete. Thank you for the event and the opportunity to present our achievements so far. I'm going to start with a little bit because as we have mentioned before, but to start that the aim of our mission is to protect, restore and promote the Mediterranean's natural environment and resources by fostering collaboration, transferring of knowledge and raising public awareness to implement effective ecosystem restoration and climate adaptation strategies. We have more than 250 organizations being involved between our project, our governance project, and thematic projects and the associated partners that we have on our community. And each year we try to gather more and have more stakeholder reach further audiences. For this year, we have concluded on the end of November our institutional dialogue. We have started 5 thematic clusters, 1 peer review cluster, and we have our 2 policy recommendations. The one that I'm going to explain a little bit further next. So the main regarding the policy-oriented part of the project, we have on the mission we focus on 4 thematic areas for networking, capacity building, and producing knowledge. Essentially, we try to let's say to group the interested in the topics of the thematic project into being more in-depth discussions and collaboration and synergies between all these topics. We have the area-based conservation topic, the overcoming local barriers for climate change adaptation, evaluating the socioeconomic value of diversity, and ecosystem restoration and natural-based solutions. Essentially, we have a structure that we keep from last year, that we do 2 online webinars each year offering capacity building and encouraging knowledge sharing, that we try to do one around April or May and one on September, October. And at the end of each year, we have one in-person event that is dealing with specific policy issues related to the current agenda. Of course, we have also an, let's say, internal mission meeting at the early summer, but we try to keep each year regarding our policy topic that we more focus on, to try to have these 2 online webinars that give some capacity building, and then to have some more in-depth discussions on the in-person event at the end of the year, to gather and conclude all the process and all the feedback and the work that is being done all the year towards this topic. And with saying that, last year we focused more on bringing policy recommendation on marine and coastal restoration. We had also tried to, which we launched on the early 2025, and after that we tried to advocate more this policy recommendation on some major events like UNOC, like COP23, COP24 now. And for this year, in parallel with the advocacy of last year's policy recommendation, we worked through the webinars and also through the annual institutional dialogue event towards the policy recommendations on terrestrial freshwater ecosystem restoration that is still under progress. We received major feedbacks from our annual institutional dialogue. Also, the discussion, it was further elaborated and contributed. It was being continued on the COP24, and of course today on our breakout session we are going to have this as a topic to discuss further and manage also more inputs from our southern and eastern actors. Especially we think they can also add contributions more in this breakout session, so we can further launch the final, let's say, work on January of next year. So the annual institutional events, as I mentioned, are at the end of each year. This was our third year, and especially regarding the involvement of the Mediterranean partners, we had a lot of key partners from Lebanon, Morocco, Tunisia, and Turkey joining us on our institutional dialogue. They brought, as I say, a lot of impact and inputs to the recommendation, and essentially we hope that this keeps up with the rest of the events, as I mentioned. Also on the COP24, we had key contribution from the Ministry of Environment of Egypt and the Ministry of Agriculture of Lebanon, that, as I mentioned, are being concluded and bring forward more value to the whole process. With this, I give the floor to Katerina Pratiko to keep up with the transferring tools.
Thank you, Marilena. Okay, so I will present a specific tool which we offer to all those stakeholders, Mediterranean stakeholders that are present in this meeting, and also we use for amplifying the results of the projects that are working within the Natural Heritage Mission. Next slide, Marilena, can you help me? Thank you. So
yes, do you see? Okay, it was a little delay. Sorry.
Don't worry. Okay, so what is this? It's a tool which is included in the so-called amplification room. The amplification room is the space where our community comes together, but also where the community opens to new external actors. That's also why in the next slides, I will also present you the opportunity to join the community through a specific activity. The activities that are delivered through this amplification room are some services that are delivered to those actors that want to join the community by adopting a specific tool or a specific methodology or any specific solution provided by the community. So it includes capacity building modules, but also specific services for fostering adoption and also policy mainstreaming. Thank you, Marilena. Next. Okay, so now I ask you to take notes if you are interested in one of these topics. You here see in the next two slides, so it means in this and the next one, the name of our thematic projects that are working for providing very concrete solutions on what you read here. So take note if you are interested in one of these topics, because we will offer you a space of interaction on these. For example, I leave these two slides for you to read and to have the possibility to take a note, because you will have the opportunity to write down what you are interested in. So you see, for example, we have climate change adaptation plans for marine protected areas. We have the topic of forest management. You can say, okay, so water heritage systems, safeguarding Mediterranean biodiversity, etc. Any question and any interest will be, of course, taken into consideration. Now, I give you some examples of collaboration with East and South Mediterranean actors during these years. It's only two in this case, but of course, we could also list more. But very concrete is, for example, the participation and the presentation of a river contract in Lebanon, which is included, for example, in a specific platform that has been created, and it's already online. It has been created by one project, which is called WigoCop. And also the direct contribution that two marine protected areas in Tunisia and in Turkey have given to as a feedback to the project Green List for MMPAs that will also continue in the future probably. And that will have the possibility also to amplify this methodology in other countries of the southern and eastern shores. Thank you, Marilena. Next one. So, which is the proposal to you? Is to fostering adoption of the many solutions provided by our thematic projects. How it works? It's a mentorship program that you can also, for which you can express your interest, which is developed through the showcase of specific concrete solutions on the topic that I showed you before, a capacity building program, and tailored guidance for the specific organization that is interested for adopting the solutions. How it will be built, a specific methodology and sustainability strategy, which is also including a memorandum of understanding for establish concrete commitment of the parts that will work in the mentorship program. The duration of this program is tailor-made, so it depends of the needs of the specific methodology, etc., and will be decided together. Yeah. This is how you can go there. Okay, this is how you can express your interest in the mentorship program on the specific topics we listed before in the slides. So you can express now because it's an opportunity. We will also try to put the scheme for interest in our website. But if you are interested, just use this QR code for speak with us, for being contacted by our team. Next one. Upcoming events. So how can you communicate with us, and how can you participate in our activities? First of all, by joining our community, which is also through the QR code I showed you before, because being part of the amplification room, being part of a mentorship program means also being part of the community of practice that will gather next May in Lisbon. Then in November, we will have the fourth annual institutional dialogue event, back to back with the big event, midterm event of the program. And every year we have two working group webinars online on environmental governance challenges that are open to all partners and to all external stakeholders that are interested. If you want to know more about what I was speaking about, is possible to go and visit our website, and also to follow us on our social media, LinkedIn, Instagram. You will find natural, so through @gov4nature, you will find our account. Next one. So we invite you also to join our breakout session, which will be focused on nature restoration on terrestrial and freshwater ecosystems. We want to collect your feedback on this because we are preparing policy recommendations on this specific topic, so restoration. And participants will also have the opportunity to contribute by giving examples of what is happening in their regions, explaining how they tackle these challenges, and also giving example of solutions. So it will be a very interactive session. And of course, at the end, we will have the proposal of some follow-up actions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Caterina and Marilena. We are now concluding this first part of presentations, and before handing over to our partners, I would like to ask Michele Colavito, who was in charge of moderating the chat, if we have received any specific question that we could answer collectively.
Thank you, Cleo, and good morning, everybody, from my side also. There are a lot of information already exchanged in the chat, so thank you very much for animating it. Already main information from the project and many answers already given to our participants. There are a lot of information on how to join the different communities and missions linked to the website and social media. There are a couple of questions for the JS indeed, that we report them. But first of all, I see one raised hand from Nikos Sifaras. I don't know if he can hear us or he would like to make the question. If not, I can tell to the JS. There are some technical information, concerning the availability of the presentation of today in the website of the program, and on how to upload the results of the Euro-MED Academy, not just the training program, but just the result. So I ask to answer. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, everything, all the material from this seminar will be uploaded on our website in the page dedicated to the MEDTalks. So you will have everything, the PowerPoint presentations, and also the recording. For the second question, for the process for a project, for an Interreg Euro-MED project, to have their outputs published on the library goes through the validation of these outputs, first of all by the GS. So once they are submitted in a full report, and then we validate the content and we ensure that all criteria are met to have a good quality and with a high transferable potential output, then it is published. So get in contact first with your project officer to have all the details on that.
Thank you, Sophie. Thank you very much. And just to remind all the participants that, of course, all the main information about the projects, the missions, and the community are available through the Interreg MED website. So everything is published there, so you can access all the information related to the projects that Sophie described at the beginning from the website of the program.
Indeed, we have dedicated pages per mission, so you can have a lot of information on each of the mission and all the activities and connect with all the activities. And then you have also, of course, a list of projects, and you can connect directly to the website of the project because it's a multiple site platform, let's say, and you can connect to them, and so to have also all the contacts you need from the project, of course.
Exactly. Thank you, Sophie. Another information before going to the other speakers. We remind you that after the last speakers, there will be the breakout session. So in order for you to have more specific answer and to have more specific information about each missions, please decide since now what are the best topic that you would like to join. And in any case, please go on in putting your questions or your remarks, comments on the chat. Thank you very much for that. And then I would like to give the floor. There is a little bit change in the agenda of the program, but I will give you the floor to Vincent Arnaud, who is the coordinator of the branch office for the Western Mediterranean of the Interreg MED, which is a very important part in this path. So please, Vincent, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Michele. And good morning, everyone. Of course, thank you so much for inviting Interreg MED Programme to this third edition of MEDTalks. Thank you so much, Interreg Euro-MED, and thank you so much, of course, our good friends from Union for the Mediterranean. I had a walk through the different participants, and I was able to see many faces that we know in Interreg MED Programme. So I'm confident that many of you already know us. Anyway, I have prepared a very small presentation that I will share right now. So don't worry, of course, I'm not going to repeat many details that you already know. But as I assume that some of you may still don't know the program, a very short introduction is necessary. And then afterwards, we are happy to have with us today two lead partners from our project from the Mediterranean shore, from the southern Mediterranean shore. And they will present you their project. And it's quite interesting, as you will see. So allow me to put this in presentation mode. Okay. So Interreg MED, cousin or brother, or at least parents of Interreg Euro-MED, of course. You know that we share many things together. We share a part of our geography, which is not exactly the same, and that's why you have the map in this slide. You know that a picture is always saying much more than words, so this picture helps you directly in seeing what we address in Interreg MED Programme. We cover 15 countries from both shores of the Mediterranean, more than 100 territories, more than 200 million people, so it's quite a vast area, of course. The budget to 263 million so far, and since the beginning, not of Interreg MED, but since the beginning of this program, the previous version of the programs, we have been financing up to 234.
Sorry, Vincent. Maybe the slide is not moving. If you're moving that.
No, I'm still in the first one. Don't worry. But
okay, so
don't worry.
Please, please use the mode presentation because it's more visible.
It's mode presentation on my side. It's not on yours.
And now we don't see it in.
So what do you see?
Just the slide, but not in mode presentation. Just the first slide, but not in mode presentation.
On my computer, I see it in presentation mode.
سمح بالله الالتزام نتاع الودادية نتاع الوحدة.
Try to interrupt the sharing and then to share it again.
Okay, let's do this.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let's see if it works now.
Right, that's perfect. That's perfect. Thank you.
That's good now? Okay. From my side, I see it exactly the same than before, so that's why it's impossible to know. So this is the map of our program. Interesting point here, more than almost, well, not almost, but not far away from 2,000 partners have been involved in our program. That means many organizations from the Mediterranean, from 15 countries, that might be interested, of course, in synergies and in working with other programs, and especially with Interreg Euro-MED program, which is a natural choice, natural decision for any partner of our program. Okay, our vision is, of course, contributing to a better Mediterranean, a smarter Mediterranean, greener Mediterranean, more inclusive Mediterranean, and this is an element that differentiates us a little bit from many other Interreg projects. The social element is quite key in our program, and multi-level governance. If we think about the four horizontal missions of the Interreg Euro-MED program, I think that two of your missions are, first priority, which is a competitive and smarter Mediterranean, and two are under the green and local carbon priority. Then we have governance, where we also have some connections with your project. Social inclusion, after reading the content of the four missions of Interreg Euro-MED, it's a bit more far away, but that doesn't mean that there is nothing, of course, to work on. No, sorry, it went too quick. We have approved this year 59 projects, accounting for almost 120 million euros. More than 300 partners involved. You can see here the pictures where are the projects standing: 16 under innovation and competitiveness, 22 under green economy, environment. We are a very, like many others, but we are clearly a green program with more than 40% of our budget dedicated to green projects. We have 30 projects under social and 8 projects under governance. And then it is worth to mention also that in this picture, we have to add one thing which is quite specific to our program, which are the use-oriented projects. And we have up to 8 use-oriented projects. And by this, we're talking of projects that are managed by youth organizations and that have the objective and the scope to deliver to the use of the Mediterranean. Of course, this presentation is not about telling you about all our projects and give you details, because that would not be possible. We know that you can access our website, and anytime, of course, you can also come to us and ask us, look, how can we collaborate with Interreg NextMed? Which projects do you think are aligned with our core missions? This is something that you can do at program level, project level, anytime. Of course, you are free to contact us, and you are free to contact also our projects, because on our website we have the list of projects with the list of contacts for all the partners of the projects. What I've been doing here in this presentation, and I'm sure that they will share the presentation with you, is to pre-identify. I'm not saying that it's 100% precise, because of course you know that a project can fit or not under one or another mission. It's not always 100% objective, but I tried to categorize all projects, the 59 projects, at least those that align with your missions, with the missions of Interreg Euro-MED, with the 4 missions, with the 4 core missions. And so here in this presentation that you will receive, you will have 4 slides with the 4 missions and a list, a selection of projects from NextMed that align with the core objectives of the missions. For example, in this one, you can see for your first mission of Euro-MED, building an innovative and sustainable economy, we have many projects that are very much aligned, especially those that work in our specific objective on building a circular economy and a Mediterranean economy more efficient in resources. We have up to 3 projects working in the field of textile, so building a more efficient and more circular economy for the textile industry. But you can also see that we have other subsectors like the sector of electrical and electronic equipment, sludge, which will be one of the 2 projects that's going to speak any second now, and also Innovatile, which is working on reducing the carbon emissions of the ceramic sector. Extremely interesting project, frankly. And yes, you will see this for the 4 missions, so I'm not entering into details. In this slide, natural heritage, you can see that we have 2 projects on preventing wildfires and 3 projects related to natural resources of the sea, meaning protecting the sea and taking care of the oceans, in our case, the Mediterranean Sea, and 2 use-oriented projects. So of course, you are also free to contact the use-oriented projects because they have something else, something different to bring to the table, a new vision, a fresh vision, and I'm pretty much sure that whenever you contact a use-oriented project, you will receive something slightly different, something that you will think, that you will be able to see that they have an added value which is different to the rest. For the Your Green Living mission, we have more projects. And for the tourism mission, sustainable tourism mission, we have 3 projects at this moment. Telling you before giving the floor to our 2 projects that we are currently evaluating the projects that submitted a proposal to our second call for proposal, or call for green transition projects, which has been a massive success. I think we have beaten a Mediterranean record in terms of participation, at least, with 814 proposals submitted and thousands of actors involved. That to say that very soon there will be a second bunch of projects approved, also willing to build synergies with you in many topics. So pay attention to our website and to our news, because something great is coming, of course, with the new projects. And now, what I would like to do, and I'm happy to do it, is to give the floor to 2 of our projects. The first one is very much related to your core mission, Euro-MED mission of sustainable economy and innovative economy. They are working in water, but they are working in our specific priority of water, but very oriented to circular economy. I will give the floor to Mr. Monder Hind. He is the General Director of the Palestinian Wastewater Engineering Group. Monder has been working with us in the previous program, and I would like to say, and I take this occasion to insist and to stress the fact that it's Monder. Just 1 second. I'm telling something about you.
Yes, please.
Just to say that it's amazing that, of course, with the situation that you are facing in your country these years, you have been able. Sorry, just Monder. Can you just wait 1 second? You have been able to submit a proposal again, and you have been able to submit a winning proposal, meaning something exceptional. And frankly, we cannot even imagine what it is to work in your conditions. So it's crazy, and we are so happy to have you on board. So Monder, I'm giving you 6-7 minutes to present your project, and of course to say how it aligns with the Euro-MED mission.
Well, yes, thank you, Vincent. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. Do you see my slide?
Yes, I see it.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I will start immediately, very few minutes, 6 to 7 minutes. I go for the presentation of the project MED-Resource, and just try to go ahead with the slides. Just 1 second. I stop sharing and share again. This one, yes. Yes, yes. To play mode, yes, yeah. Yes.
Okay, we can see it well.
Yeah. Yes, very good. Okay. So we are going to talk about the project MED-Resource under Interreg Next-MED, turning sludge into a circular resource. What I can say is that wastewater treatment is improving actually in the MENA area, but sludge management remains the weakest link across the whole actually MED area, where poorly treated sludge contaminates land, soils, rivers, water resources, coastal aquifers, and of course, threatening public health. If you see the chart, we can see that 6.5 million tons per year of sludge is generated in the MENA area, out of which only 2.8 million tons per year is treated, and less than 20% is reused in soil restoration, energy generation, and so on. The major part of it, almost 4 million tons per year, is disposed in not a proper way to the open air. A lot of it is burned, causing a lot of environmental and public health disasters. From our point of view, from MED-Resource point of view, the sludge can be turned into a resource. From sludge, we can create compost for soil restoration. We can have energy recovery by digesting the sludge in digesters, creating biogas. We can, for example, have nutrient recovery, especially nitrogen, phosphorus. And there is a great opportunity to support circular economy, turning sludge into a resource. MED-Resource project under Interreg Next-MED has 4 living labs within its 4 country partners. 1 living lab in Palestine, where farmers mix first grade sludge with shredded medjool date fronds, creating compost for land restoration. There are hundreds of thousands of tons each year of date fronds, which farmers burn at the open air in the Jordan Valley area, polluting environment and creating health hazards. In Italy, under MED-Resource, we are building on a previous success story of previous MEDIS project under always Interreg Next-MED. We do ammonia stripping from a digestate sludge and recovery of nutrients like nitrogen, phosphorus. We actually intervene in a nitrate vulnerable area, which is Arborea in Sardinia. In Tunisia also, we intervene in creating a compost out of a wastewater treated sludge and remains of vegetables, grass, etc. So we can see that MED-Resource living labs show that sludge is a resource rather than a pollutant. And it is indeed in line with the Interreg Euro-MED, which promotes innovation in green and low economy projects. We are acting on common MED challenges, not only in limited areas, and sharing experience along partners. Well, for some of the key results and impacts, I can say that at the living lab sites, we will have a reduction of sludge by 30 to 40% with environmental saving and economic benefits at a large scale. We will have nutrients recovery. We will have recovery of nitrogen and phosphorus in Arborea. We will be using, and we are really using, an innovative technology which the project is scaling up after having tested it in a successful project called MEDIS, always under Interreg Next-Med. And there is a great contribution to the economy, including job opportunities creation. Well, as key results, we can talk about MED-Resource as guiding governments toward better regulation and enforcement. And this is in line with the Union for Mediterranean, which promotes policy harmonization and multilateral cooperation framework. So it's not only a technical project, it has to do also with governance, also with Interreg Euro-MED. I think that it is in line, which focuses on better governance models for territorial cooperation. We identify legal gaps in sludge classification all over the Mediterranean area. We identify reuse and monitoring opportunities, and we engage in the project ministries as associated partners from all 4 partner countries. We involve water utilities, environmental agencies also as associated partners, and municipalities. We show cost saving from improved sludge handling. I can say at the end that the project is becoming a catalyst for Mediterranean-wide improvement rather than isolated local actions, and building a Mediterranean community of sludge and wastewater experts. This is all from my part. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Monder. I've seen in the chat that questions were entering for you, so I'm sure that you will take time, of course, to respond them. Thank you so much. So, second project that you're running for us, and I'm sure that you will continue in the future because you are a real advocate of our program, and now we also confident that you will be able to liaise with the Interreg Euro-MED program that you have been discovering, and also with their mission. So thank you so much, Monder.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you all.
Our second guest is another institution, represents another institution which is a long time friend of the program, which is the American University of Beirut in Lebanon, key major actor university in the Mediterranean. Mr. Shadi Najjar is a professor at the University of Beirut, and he will introduce you to his project also, STORM, which in this case is very much aligned with your Euro-MED mission on green living areas. So Shadi, are you there?
Yes, Vincent. Thank you for the introduction.
Excellent. Thank you for coming. The floor is yours.
All right. Let me share my screen. All right. 1 second so that we hide the presenter view. Okay, can you see the screen, Vincent? Can you please confirm?
Not yet. We still see you, which is also good, but we don't see the presentation.
No, I think I shared. Maybe it's just a lag or something.
Okay, let's wait.
Okay, if there's nothing yet, let me try again.
Don't worry. So we are used to it. That's something that happens. Take your time. Maybe go out and go in again.
That's what I'm doing. Let me share again.
Now it seems that it's coming.
Okay.
Oh, but you are sharing something. Okay, now it's good. Put it in presentation mode and it's okay.
Okay. Sorry about this delay. All right. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to present in MEDTalks. Actually, it's a great opportunity to showcase the synergy between the Interreg Next-Med program and the Euro-MED missions, particularly the synergy between STORM and the Living Green Areas mission. I'm presenting on behalf of all the partners in STORM and on behalf of AUB, which is the lead partner in STORM. So to start, I would like just to showcase the importance of this project. As you all know, space heating and space cooling take a lot of energy and result in a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. Showing on this screen some data that shows the percentage of energy used in space water heating on the left in different Mediterranean countries. And at the same time, on the right, I'm showing you the greenhouse gas emissions per capita in these countries. By the way, these are the countries that are participating in the Interreg Next-Med program. So what I'm trying to show here is that the countries that use a lot of energy for space heating are the ones that generally result in a lot of greenhouse gas emissions. And if we want to achieve the climate neutral objective of net zero emissions by 2050, we will have to do something to reduce these emissions, particularly for the case of heating and cooling. There is a clear evidence that in order for us to achieve heating particularly, we are still using a lot of solid fossil fuels and different types of fossil fuels, both in the EU on the left-hand side and in Lebanon. Actually, in Lebanon, almost 95% of the energy used to get space heating and water heating is from fossil fuels. Now, there is really an opportunity here because the Mediterranean holds one of the highest solar potential in the whole region. I'm showing here just one indication, which is the horizontal radiation that comes from the sun. This is the solar potential. And as you can see, there's the EU average here in the middle, which is 1,350. And you can see that almost all Mediterranean countries have more solar potential than the average of the EU. And this is something that we need to capitalize on. And this is something that Storm wants to capitalize on. Usually, you can achieve solar energy from many sources. One of them is photovoltaic systems that give you electricity. These are the ones that you have on the right. Now, these are important and they are contributing to giving green energy to cooling and a little bit to heating. But the problem is that any source of solar energy, whether it is electricity or whether it is solar thermal, like the one you see on the left, which basically involves heating some kind of a fluid to get energy. Both of these sources during the winter, when we need heating the most, they are not available. So there is really a need to have some kind of a storage system that allows you to store, especially thermal energy. This is exactly what Storm will achieve. And it's going to achieve it through a technology that is already existing. It's called seasonal thermal energy storage. And the idea is to harness all the solar energy during the seasons when there is sun, which is usually the summer and parts of the spring and fall, and to get that energy and store it in a place. And when you need it in the winter for space heating, you will then use it. And generally, the two technologies that are very common are the ones you see here. The first one is the borehole thermal energy storage system, where you store the energy in the ground. Basically, you heat a large volume of rock or soil and use it in the winter again to heat the houses. Alternatively, if you don't want to put the energy in the ground, under the ground, you can put it in a specially designed tank that is insulated. These are very large tanks. You can put in them water, or you can put them in them other geomaterials, soils, or rocks. In both of these systems, you are charging the tanks or the ground in the summer and then using it for space heating in the winter to get green energy. Now, Storm is aiming to bring this technology to the Mediterranean region. It's a project that is funded by the Interreg Next-Med Programme, and the total budget is 2.7 million, 2.4 contribution from the EU, and it's for 3 years. We are really proud to have 7 partners with us in Lebanon, American University of Beirut and the Lebanese Center for Energy Conservation, 2 partners from Italy, University of Palermo and University of Campania, Luigi Velvitelli. And then we have in Cyprus, AUB Mediterraneo, and in Jordan, the Royal Scientific Society. And finally, from Spain, we have KIM-BCN, which is a knowledge innovation market. The partners are working to achieve the following objectives. What we want to do is demonstrate and validate seasonal borehole thermal energy storage systems in the Mediterranean setting, in the Mediterranean climate, in the Mediterranean geology, and the Mediterranean system as a whole. And the idea is to try to increase the energy efficiency of Mediterranean buildings and reduce the dependence on fossil fuels. And what we're trying to do to achieve this is to implement 4 innovative full-scale pilots that will demonstrate the effectiveness of this system. And one of them will be happening here in American University of Beirut, and it will involve a borehole system, another one in the University of Palermo, and a third one in a forest reserve setting in Jordan, where they will use a tank thermal energy storage system to basically store energy and then use it in the winter. We have a 4th demonstration pilot happening in Barcelona, and it is existing already, but we will use it as a demonstration. In addition to the pilots, we will build knowledge, tools, and policies to support this technology, and this will happen through a specially designed Mediterranean design toolkit that is going to be built on a set of very complicated simulations for energy and design. And this will be available for practical engineers to use to design these systems. And finally, we will aim to raise awareness on the benefits of this system through an immersive digital platform that we will build directly for this particular application. We have a partner that is dedicating all the resources to build this digital platform. Eventually, it will house all the outputs from Storm, and it will be a venue for anybody who's interested to register there and get involved with the project and in the data produced by the project. The project Storm is highly synergetic with the Green Living Areas mission. Storm deploys these systems to cut fossil fuels-based heating, and this supports the energy transition focus topic of the mission. And it advocates for a green energy system since it is basically trying to add another component into the green energy mix in the region. As with the objective of the Green Living Areas mission, Storm is going to complement the mission's territorial coverage across the Mediterranean through the Mediterranean zonation mapping that we will do for energy, and through the digital platform and the design toolkit that will be complementary to the mission's shared toolbox that was already presented in previous presentations. And finally, Storm will support the policy and strategic planning, and it has a work package dedicated to policies, and this will be in line with the mission's financing the green transition theme. So this is basically my presentation. I would like you to follow Storm's web pages and social media platforms, and we were lucky to kick off this project early in November, and we're looking forward to sharing with you results in the near future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shadi, for this great presentation. We are lucky to have you on board, of course, American University of Beirut. Certainly a key actor for us, but also for Interreg Euro-MED if you want to extend the coverage and the scope of the 4 missions. I think you are an actor you cannot play without. I would like to say before giving the floor back that also for you and for Monder and for the other projects, I'm sure that the four missions of the Euro-MED program will give you an extra tool to capitalize on, to multiply the impact and the effect of your project, and to give it continuity and to give it, by the end of the day, more effect. So I'm certain that there we have made a great connection. And of course, for the missions of the Euro-MED, I think that with our projects, you really open a new horizon of cooperation. Not all our projects and partners, especially in the Mediterranean partners countries, are so experienced as Monder and Shadi. We also have many new partners. In fact, I think that we have up to 40% of new partners in the 59 projects that we have recently approved. So of course, and this is a message for Interreg Euro-MED, do not expect everybody to be so expert in cooperation and in capitalization and etc. than the 2 speakers that we had today. That's something we have to take into account. But we're opening by this first participation of Interreg Next Med in the MEDTalks, I think, a new cooperation path, and I'm sure that we will explore it very strongly. Thank you very much. I give the floor back, and we will stay for the dynamic sessions, both the speakers and myself.
Thank you, Vincent, Mander, and Shadi, showing that Interreg Next-Med programs offer many synergies with the initiative we've heard about today. We will now move from program cooperation to the broader regional policy framework. It is a pleasure to invite Patrizia Busolini from UNEP-MAP to present the upcoming Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development, which will provide an essential reference for our future work. Patricia.
Thank you, Cleo. Good morning to everybody. Thank you again to the colleagues of the Interreg Euro-MED and Union for the Mediterranean for inviting also the UNEP-MAP Barcelona Convention to this MEDTalk. We are very happy to be present, and in particular to present the Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development that has been recently approved past week in Cairo during the 12th meeting of the contracting parties to the Barcelona Convention. So I have prepared a short presentation. I will try to share my screen, otherwise I would kindly, I think this is the one. Yes, let me put it, and let me know if you see it in full screen mode. Do you see it in full screen mode?
Yes.
Hello? Excellent, excellent. So just a very, very, very short background. I am sure all the participants know about it, but just to mention that the Barcelona Convention now this year celebrates the 50th year anniversary. So it is a big anniversary. A lot have been achieved. The Barcelona Convention has 22 contracting parties, meaning the 21 countries around the Mediterranean and the European Union. The convention is complemented by 7 protocols. The ecosystem approach, it is the approach that is the overarching principle on all the activities that we do. And it is embedded in the MAP vision, which is to progress towards a healthy, clean and sustainable and climate resilient Mediterranean coast and seas, in line also with the 2030 Agenda on Sustainable Development and SDGs. Now, concretely, this vision, it is embedded in a medium-term strategy that it covers the period, the current one covers the period 2022-2027. The strategy, of course, it is linked with the Sustainable Development Goal, the Agenda 30. So you can see we have thematic programs: pollution and marine litter, biodiversity and ecosystem, climate change, sustainable use of the resources, circular and blue economy. And then there are those that are called enabling programs, it is to say governance, monitoring, assessment, knowledge and vision, advocacy and communication. So you can see how much it is linked to the priorities of the Interreg transnational programs in the Mediterranean. Now, this medium-term strategy, it is then developed each biennium into a program of work and budget. Now, the 24th meeting of the contracting parties just approved the program of work 2026-2027 that will close this biennium, will close the current medium-term strategy. So during the biennium that will start in January, we are also going to prepare the medium-term strategy until 2028-2033. Now, one of the advisory body to the contracting parties to the Barcelona Convention, it is the Mediterranean Commission on Sustainable Development. This is an advisory body. It is a unique one to the contracting parties. It has been set up in 1995. So this year it celebrates the 13th anniversary. It is composed by 40 members, meaning the 22 contracting parties plus 18 representatives of stakeholders spanning from academia, business sector, local authorities, and so forth, business and so forth. What it has been, and one of the, for example, one of the members of the Mediterranean Commission for Sustainable Development. It is MEDCities. I saw Joseph is online on well, and I will explain a bit later on also the role of important role of MEDCities in the implementation of the Mediterranean Commission on Sustainable Development together with the other members. The COP24 also decided to add two new stakeholders categories, youth and women. We are very proud of that. So starting from next biennium, we will have 42 members of the Mediterranean Commission. This is a unique platform in the Mediterranean because all the members, both contracting parties and the other stakeholder sit at on the same foot, so they have exactly the same rights. We are very proud of that. It's a very good cooperation platform. The role of the Mediterranean Commission is key because the Mediterranean Commission coordinates the preparation, implementation, the revision of the Mediterranean Strategy on Sustainable Development. So for the past 2 years, the Mediterranean Commission has done an incredible work, a very inclusive activity to prepare the updated version of the strategy for the next 10 years, for the period 2026-2035. This is the third cycle of the Mediterranean strategy, so it means it has been ongoing already for 20 years, and now we start 21st year. This document, it is a strategic guiding document, and the overall objective it is to translate and deploy the 2030 agenda sustainable development goals at Mediterranean level, at regional, national, local level. With the support of the contracting parties, also this strategy has the ambition to become the overall reference framework for cooperation in the region on sustainable development. This, of course, in synergy with all the initiatives and strategies that are already in implementation. Of course, it goes without saying. Also, it is important to say that this third cycle of the Mediterranean strategy comes in a moment when there is this high-level renovated momentum of commitment in the Mediterranean when it comes to sustainable development, ocean governance, and so forth. And here I just mentioned a couple of key decisions, key political declaration. The first one is the one on UNOC 3 that took place in Nice in June. And that also at the same moment saw also the declaration of the ministers of the Mediterranean. We have also the EU Ocean Pact, the Pact for the Mediterranean. So it's really a good moment. Another important thing about the MSSD, it is that we have upscaled the role of flagship initiative. In the previous Mediterranean strategy for sustainable development, we had like 11 flagship initiative. But in the course of the year, this flagship initiative have really become, let's say, an operative arm of the strategy to implement action activities, to support stakeholder engagement, involvement, best practices, and so forth. So the Mediterranean Commission has really decided to give a upscaled role to this flagship initiative, and in the third cycle, the strategy has 22 flagship initiative, and we really believe this is where also the projects of Interreg Euro-MED Programme, Interreg Next South, Adrian Programme, this is where we can really create good connections and cooperation because we all have these big policy frameworks, but it is important also to be operative and practice, and from our side, these flagship initiatives are the tool. Some additional information on how we monitor the implementation of the Mediterranean strategy. We have 17 targets. We have 28 specific indicators, which are managed by Plan Bleu, and then we have 10 core indicators, which are, some of them are built on the 28 indicators, some are new, but the main objective of these 10 core indicators, it is to provide a picture of the main element, of the main aspects in the Mediterranean, in order to inform the policymakers with a clear and readable from their side views, and also the stakeholder, to involve the stakeholder, to inform the stakeholder in a more, let's say, catchy way, but to give the information at the same time. Now, very briefly, which are the novelties and which are the main objectives of the Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development for the period 2026-2035. Climate change has become the objective one. Climate change having a lot of impacts, risks, and so forth, but also a lot of opportunities for development. So it has become climate change because it has impacts at different levels on different topics. Of course, health, productivity, restoration, and resilience of marine and coastal ecosystem, which is the primary objective of the Barcelona Convention. What is the novelty under this objective? It is that we have given further importance to marine spatial planning. In the UNEP system, marine spatial planning corresponds to the EU maritime spatial planning. It is the same thing, we just use marine instead of maritime, but it's practically the same thing. This is also very much linked to blue economy, to sustainable blue economy. I will come later on this. On the third objective, we have sustainable resource management, especially water, food security, so fisheries and aquaculture mainly, it's very important, and sustainable force of rural development. The novelty under this objective, it is that we gave further importance to the sustainable management of water and also to Mediterranean forest, a better management of Mediterranean forest, which is linked with climate change also. Fourth priority in sustainable and resilient Mediterranean cities, and this is where we gave really an upscale role to local authorities which do not have, of course, only a role when it comes to the management of cities per se, but they play a key role across the board, let's say, because they can support when it comes, for example, the coastal cities. They have a key role in managing also cities as blue economy hubs, for example, just to make an example, or they have a role when it comes to sustainable marine and coastal areas management, in climate change, in implementing natural-based solution, and so. A very important novelty, it is a sustainable finance. This is an addition in this third cycle of the Mediterranean Strategy on Sustainable Development, because it is very important that both private and public finance are planned utilizing sustainable approaches and phasing out those investment that can harm the environment. This is the main logic. And finally, improve governance at all levels, cooperation and partnership in support of resilience and sustainable development. This is again where we will support further a better involvement and role of local authorities across the board, providing also capacity building, especially to the non-EU countries, and also where we have further promoted stakeholders involvement, youth, women especially, private sector, and so forth. Now, I'm not going to the details of how the strategy is developed into strategic direction, actions at national and regional level, and flagship initiative, because more or less it follows the same scheme, for example, of the Interreg MED programme. So there are objectives, and it is developed into direction, actions, and so forth. Now, what I would like to focus, we had already had a previous meeting, I think it was September. It's on the flagship initiative, because as I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, this is really where we can cooperate concretely. So we have 20 flagship initiatives. The novelty is also that each objective has at least a couple of flagship initiatives. We are very happy with this. We start with the flagship initiative, which is a network of Mediterranean experts on climate change. This network is very successful. They have produced a number of reports so far that have been also object of decision of the contracting parties to the Barcelona Convention, and they are really taking into account for the production of a number of decisions beyond the Barcelona Convention. So this is an excellent example. Launching of educational initiatives for cooperation among school, university, civil society, in particular to support youth and women in sustainable business practices. This is something that came from as novelty as a proposal now for the updated Mediterranean strategy. This is, for example, where we could cooperate, because I am aware there are projects both in the Interreg Euro-MED and South and Next South Interreg program where this type of activities are implemented. So this is a typical example. TerraMed, it's a novelty included in the Mediterranean strategy, but is a project that is already well advanced. And I think the speaker before me presented this project on renewable energy. So here, for example, there could be also possibility to cooperate. When it comes to Objective 2, one of the key flagship initiatives would be on achieving 30 by 30 of marine protected areas targets. I am assuming you are very familiar with this because it's linked to the global biodiversity framework and related targets. The Mediterranean Coast Day, it is an activity that UNEP MAP, in particular PAPRAC, implements every year on the 25th of September. So here also, we have included now as flagship initiative here in order to further promote its implementation. And we can further cooperate on that as well. Another important and very well-known flagship initiative, it is related to the Green List, a standard on the riparian state to assess the efficiency and effectiveness of parks managing bodies created in this framework. This is also very well known. The flagship initiative on seagrass Posidonia meadows, it is a novelty. It will be managed by SPARAC, which is the Regional Activity Center dealing with biodiversity and marine protected areas. Knowing also the importance of Posidonia when it comes to blue carbon, so this is to be developed. When Objective 3, we have the WEFE Nexus, that is the Strategy for Water, Energy, Food Ecosystem Nexus. This is a very important flagship initiative. It has already a very well advanced strategy and action plan. It is developed in cooperation with UFM and with us, with the UNEP Barcelona Convention, and also with the support of the Commission. We also have the Mediterranean Forest Initiative, which is an initiative of UNEP, and this is also very much well advanced in cooperation with the UFM, also this one. Under the objective on Mediterranean city, we have the Istanbul Environmental Friendly City Award, which is an award to promote those Mediterranean coastal cities that put particular effort in becoming environmentally friendly. For example, the winner of the fifth edition of the award that took place past week at the COP, it was a municipality in Spain, Almeria. We are very happy with that. So the representative of Almeria municipality came in Cairo to the COP, and we had a nice celebration. But beyond the nice celebration, it is an opportunity to share best practices. This is what it was important. And this is the logic behind the new flagship initiative, Mediterranean network of Mediterranean network of zero net cities. This we need to develop in cooperation with MED cities. That also implements the Sustainable Urban Toolbox for the Mediterranean, MED Urban Tools, which is a set of tools that a repository that the Mediterranean cities can tap into in order to see which are the best practice and replicate, adapting this best practice into their context. On Objectives 5, we have another award which is called We MED Businesses, where those businesses that are circular, sustainable are awarded. So there is a competition. What it is nice of this award, it is that generally the award is given to two businesses, one coming from the North Shore and one from the South Shore of the Mediterranean. We have also a new flagship initiative on sustainable blue tourism. So tourism being a cross-cutting priority of the Interreg Euro-MED Programme. I think this is very relevant. I'm aware that you already participated to a couple of events of the program. This is a very well-advanced flagship initiative. We are very proud of that. Also because blue economy has been one of the key topics of the COP ministerial declaration that this year COP ministerial declaration with a specific focus on blue economy. And finally, on Objective 6 on governance, there we have a lot of many, you see, 6 flagship initiatives, because we need to support the stakeholders. New flagship initiative is on women leadership, youth involvement, the Mediterranean Green Week. It is self-explanatory. It is in cooperation again with the UFM, which is also a new member of the Mediterranean Commission on Sustainable Development. We are very happy with that and look forward to further strengthen cooperation. We have the Mediterranean Strategy on Education for Sustainable Development, very important to share with the educational level, so schools, universities, and so forth, the sustainable development approach and examples. And then finally, we have the Observatory on Environment and Sustainable Development, which is managed by Plan Bleu, and it really monitors the status of environment and sustainable development in the Mediterranean in order to feed with data the policy discussion, but also the development of new projects, information of stakeholders, and so forth. So this is all from my side. Now, I am very sorry, but I need to leave because I need to go to another meeting, which is about to end in 10 minutes. I can share the presentation with the colleagues, and if ever you have any question, I can reply in written. I'm very sorry, but I need to leave. But thank you again for allowing the UNEMA Barcelona Convention to share this news about the new Mediterranean Strategy for Sustainable Development, and we really look forward to cooperate with the program and with the project partners and all the stakeholders. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patricia, for your participation. We are also now opening the 4 breakout rooms on innovative sustainable economy, green living areas, sustainable tourism, and natural heritage. We'll find links on the chat to join the room that best matches with your interests. Please keep your interventions concise so everyone can speak, and remain on the facilitator's guidance and timing, please. I'm sorry, but perhaps I will ask the mission, as we have quite delay, to come back in 15 minutes. It will be better rather than 1 hour, and to be back in here at 12:40. I hope you can manage and support us to stay on time and coming back in here at 12:40. We'll have a plenary session that will offer the main results and of the discussion we will have into these breakout rooms. So have good moments. Thank you everyone for this breakout rooms and discussions. So with the breakout discussions now completed, it is time to bring the thread together. We will have a wrap-up session that will allow us to share key insights from the different rooms and identify concrete ideas to take forward collectively. And hopefully for you, innovative sustainable economy, we will start with your room, with Alessandro D'Araio, who will, if possible, or present a wrap-up slide, or give us main ideas of what you've talked about.
Yes, hello. Very, very quickly. I don't know. I'm sharing the screen if you see the slide, but of course it's not very complete. So on the main challenges, we explored a few, something that were proposed. The two that were more ranked are related to slow industrial transition towards circularity. That is actually very, let's say, central in the scope of our mission, but also rural bioeconomy slowdown and depopulation. So this issue of rural areas that is very sensitive. Then, of course, there were, let's say, a lot of spread interest also on other priorities or on specific topics within each of the priority areas. But let's say these were the two more voted. MED collaboration opportunities. We heard from several representatives from non-program area, let's say, on the willingness, but also on their experience of already collaborating with some of the projects in case of, let's say, the associated partner, but let's say, related to main collaboration opportunities, we focus again on the tools offered by our ISES, so Innovative Sustainable Economy Hub. That is our main entry point. And actually, you entered while we were discussing the pillars, the tools offered. But again, this is our main instruments. And then, of course, from there, we can start the conversation, including maybe the easiest one also to be more free in communicating is participating in the LinkedIn group. The next step, actually, the other events are the one that were already mentioned in the plenary before, so I'm not going on that again. Apart that, just to remember that when we have in-person events, so basically for the Innovation Summit, but also for the Innovation Camp that we will have in the second semester of the year, we open this contest for members of the ISEC Hub to sponsor the participation of few representatives in each event. So again, it is another opportunity also to meet in person. We will plan in the coming weeks also, let's say, the opportunities of events and other kind of trainings which happens online, so more easy to join. Related to the priorities for next MEDTalk, we didn't arrive to touch that point, but we think that maybe this can be also asked in the feedback survey of this edition so that we start collecting some inputs on the topic. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dario. We will give the floor. I don't know. We get some news for natural habitat and sustainable tourism. I'm not sure we have Green Living Areas mission back, but Bernard, if you can give us some insights from your rooms.
Yes, we are back. We were just trying to prepare the slide, but what in fact we didn't get the opportunity to have a real exchange, but there was a dynamic presentation from a specific thematic project because we were willing to highlight how cultural nudges in public spaces could contribute to a sustainable change, and also what is proposed by the partners is to try to engage the policymakers, but on the emotional side of the engagement, and through that create a community of interest for emotional engagement, and trying to design policy initiatives or policy instruments based on that. And they were proposing the audience to sign or register or sign a manifesto in order to promote this initiative. And we had also a short intervention from a person who is responsible for a network in Algeria of a network of municipalities in the energy field, And this association is quite interested by some potential change we could implement on energy communities with the experience of some thematic projects or some other external initiatives, and try to see how we could adapt these initiatives to the Algerian context, and also benefit from the experience of the Algerian municipalities, which are very well, I mean, quite motivated by this topic. So this is what we achieved. We were not able to go further.
We will have other opportunities as people can join your mission and get your contacts after all. It's now time for Luis Miranda and Georgina Calvo to present the key messages from sustainable tourism.
Hello, yes, this is Luis Miranda. I'm going to talk first, and then I will give the floor to Georgina, that will present a slide from the Sustainable Tourism Mission. Thank you. Thank you, Phil. Very briefly, we had in our breakout room 3 different speakers. 2 were talking about based nature solutions that were related between governance and tourism. And another one talked about solutions that were related to heritage and tourism. Regarding the 2 solutions that were related to based nature solutions and governance, I think it was very interesting because they were 2 ladies from Tunisia, and they explained, first of all, was Madame Latifa Bousselmi, who talked about the situation of non-conventional water resources and conventional water resources. And she talked about one project, MEDTalks, that had been listed in one of the possibility of transferable solutions for one of the projects of Interreg Euro-MED in the catalog. And it was pretty interesting when we talk about challenges of governance, because she talked about the need for an ecosystem that could put in place this relationship between non-conventional waters and conventional waters and the relationship with tourism. So I think that this idea of the need to establish an ecosystem, it's something very interesting. On the side of the other Indonesian lady, which was Madame Shaima Benassar from CITEL, she talked about also the relationship between solutions based on nature and then the sustainability and tourism. And I think it was very interesting, the possibility of the management, especially these related-based solutions with sustainable tourism. So she talked about one project, which is Clima, another project, which was Aquacycle, and both projects were in this slide. Then our third speaker, that was from Egypt, talked about tourism and heritage. And here she talked about different experiences from her center. And he talked about one project, which is a heritage project, which is an ongoing project that will finish in 2026. And she explained the different efforts that they've been doing in terms of digitalization of this heritage and the connection that it has with tourism and for future, for her city in Alexandria. And I think all 3 projects were pretty interesting in this relationship between based on nature solutions and heritage and tourism. And I'm just giving the floor, before giving the floor, just commenting some of the results of our Slido that were pretty interesting regarding the idea of governance, because in the first question, what most of people said that they really would like more capacity building programs addressed to submerged stakeholders regarding the need to enhance their skills to grasp all the sustainable tourism approaches that we're doing in the mission. And then another idea that arose in this slide was that we need more coordination between institutions and stakeholders. That was a segment very powerful. Then regarding the challenges for the mission, this was an open question. There were many people talk about we need more multi-level governance, we need more citizen engagement, we need long-term coordination, and also to involve more communities. They talk about more co-creation, DMOs, about some of the ideas that came out in this open question. So that was the grasp of this breakout room that we have in the.
Okay, sorry. Are you seeing my screen? Yeah,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah, this is my turn to share, this very quickly wrap up of the main ideas from our mission. Luis already shared some of the insights that were discussed in the meeting room, in the breakout room. But we identify as these main common challenges the implementation of circular economy in tourism practices, advancing in the digitalization, addressing water scarcity, and we also talked about waste management. And one other challenge is this limited technical capacity and financing resources for sustainable tourism. We identify as main collaboration opportunities some of these tools that are generated by our mission that were presented earlier, the MED clusters, the NSDOs, white papers that were presented in these breakout rooms very briefly, the MED platform, and the MOOC of the Interreg Euro-MED Academy as one of the solutions of these capacity building programs that were also discussed in the breakout room. Then next steps and events, as we shared before, we have these two events foreseen in 2026. And then we identify these key topics for MEDTalks 2026 policy tools and scaling circular sustainable tourism practices. We also talked about cooperation, climate change, and so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Georgina, Luis. And to finish, it's Lucia Prieto-Fustes from Natural Heritage Mission to present a breakout room session's key messages.
Yeah, I hope that you can see the screen. Here I have the short slides. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. So unfortunately, we had very little time for the breakout sessions. I think that we all have the same feeling, but I'm sure that we will have other opportunities to meet. And this is also why we are presenting the next steps and key events that we have in the upcoming months, where we will have more chances to meet and to discuss, and hopefully to have many people from the south and east of the Mediterranean joining us and enhancing the discussion. So some key points that we gathered during this session, we dedicated most of it to first present the policy recommendations that we briefly presented in plenary. So the policy recommendations on terrestrial and freshwater ecosystems restorations. And based on that, we did a Slido to gather some input on the key challenges, main barriers, opportunities, synergies, and also territorial and local solutions that could be contributing to the implementation of those policy recommendations on the ground. So to summarize some of the key challenges that emerged during the discussion, I put here two of them. So one of it was the gaps in municipal skills, financial tools, and also coordination mechanisms to integrate climate, environment, and also sectoral agendas. So for example, speaking also about tourism, but other economic activities as well. And the second point that we would like to highlight is the fragmented governance that is a key issue in the Mediterranean, and also the insufficient cross-sector dialogue that is happening between institutions and civil society that is present on the ground. Then for main cooperation and collaboration opportunities, we highlighted three of them. The first one is the need to strengthen the networks and the communities of practice that are available to ensure that we are transferring knowledge in the long term, and that all the knowledge that has been built during the program is not lost at the end of the program cycle or the project. So that is one of the key challenges, but also one of the key opportunities that we see coming up. The second one is the promotion of joint cooperation among different projects that can be, in this case, in different missions, but have many things in common, and that could be collaborating, but also between different programs. We also had NextMed with us, sharing the next projects that will be joining the program and how those cooperation opportunities could be found between the different programs. And then the final one that we would like to highlight is to expand mentoring and twinning programs between different kind of organizations, so between local authorities, SMEs, and also NGOs across the Mediterranean. This is an activity that we are currently doing within the Natural Heritage Mission, and is something that we need to continue promoting and to continue expanding, because it's something that is really appreciated at the local level and that can yield benefits for everyone involved in the program. Then for next steps and events, these policy recommendations that we presented were a draft that we will be now updating with the feedback that we have gathered during this breakout session. And by the beginning of next year, we will have a final document with the final recommendations. And throughout 2026, throughout next year, we will be promoting those recommendations in different fora and events. Again, we encourage everyone to share these recommendations, because they are they have been built within the community. It's not just us, it's all the projects that are involved in the program, and also all the people that have been contributing through different events. And then for 2026, and this is something that we have briefly introduced during plenary as well, we will have 3 key moments where we anticipate that some key people from this community can also join. We have 2 online webinars, open webinars, that we have every single year, 2 of them, that encourage networking, but also offer capacity building and reflection and collective intelligence. Then we will have a community of practice meeting, and finally we will have later on in November our annual institutional dialogue that will be also open to people coming from the south and the east. For the key topics for next year, unfortunately, we did not have much time to discuss this specifically, but this is something that, based on the discussions that we had for the other topics, and thinking also about cross-sectoral topics that could be relevant for the different missions and the different actors. Of course, governance is one that always comes up as one of the key issues that needs to be discussed. And also another one of them is local municipal involvement. So the role of local organizations and local stakeholders in this whole process. So yes, that could be the summary from the Natural Heritage breakout.
Thank you, everyone. I think it is very, very, very insightful wrap up as we are reaching the end of this MEDTalks session. Let us take a moment for a few concluding remarks. I will now invite our colleagues from the Union for the Mediterranean, Alessandra Sansi, and the Interreg Euro-MED Joint Secretariat, Sophie Scarvelis, to share their final reflections and next steps.
Yes, thank you very much, Cleo. So I will be quick as we are running out of time. I would like to thank you all, hoping that this event has been useful and that numerous exchanges will follow after that. You have seen that different events will be organized by our 4 missions during 2026, so we invite you to follow and to participate to the ones that are of your interest. Also, our program is going to organize a midterm event on the 25th and 26th of November 2026 in Marseille, coupled with the annual Méditerranée du Futur organized by Région Sud. So this will be also a new opportunity to learn more about our project results and discuss with the different stakeholders within and all around the Mediterranean. And yeah, I hope that next time we will have more time also for exchanges in the breakout rooms. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much to everybody from my end too. Really, I would like to thank each and everybody for the incredible contribution and most of all also the efforts done in terms of synthesizing, and extracting the main outputs and activities that each and every project has been working on, as well as for the very active participation also from the associate partners from the South, also in the very brief breakout sessions. I mean, this is actually the debate that we have been having before this edition of the MED talks, how long they should have lasted. And of course, now we realize that this was a very important moment. So this is, again, a very important input for the next phase. Following on what Sophie was saying, as part also of the various exchanges that we have been having is, in the ideal scenario, it would be nice to have a fourth edition of the MED talks in person. Probably is not going to be possible as such, but somehow we are collecting ideas and seeing how that can be matched in a way or the other with the wide calendar of events, among those that indeed Sophie mentioned during the event. And let's say it was a very important session, and we would like to look at events, but also to look at processes. So on these, thank you very much really to the Interreg Next MED and UNEMAP for their participation. On the point raised by Interreg Next MED, I would like that you somehow express what we were already discussing here in Barcelona on the occasion of the sort of matchmaking event that we did for Miramar and MED ProAct. I mean, what we are doing at a small scale could be definitely amplified more at the level of programs. So this would be a much more structured approach and a lot of thinking. But this is something, of course, that we can work out because the, say, contribution of the two programs as well as other programs I mentioned, for example, Prima, which has also and specifically a very important amount of projects involving the country of the South, actually both shores, North and South, would be very welcome. As far as the UFM is concerned, we have also our events taking place in 2026. We will have the working group on environment around March, April. We will have the regional platform on sustainable blue economy in April. We will have the Med Green Week somehow, but still not yet figured out when and how it's going to be structured, also because next year, the upcoming COP, the climate COP, will be in Turkey. So we would like to take that opportunity. We are already in contact with the Turkish authorities to see how that can again become an opportunity for all, similar to the MED, pavilion that was set up in Egypt, and it did prove to be quite an important, let's say, gathering. So with this, I would like to thank all the participants, but send also my special thanks to Clio and Michele that have been, helping setting up all these over the past months and specifically today. So our deep thanks, and of course, Interreg MED, Euro-MED, Next MED, UNEMAP, and all the participants of the various projects. Thank you very much, and looking forward to see you soon.